Wait, there we are. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. We'll whack on some lovely Prisoner of Azkaban in the background for you all so you can enjoy a low poly dog. Anyway, hi, everyone. Welcome to today's stream of HP3 Prisoner of Azkaban for the PC. And yeah, of course, we're going to be rating all the challenges and stuff. You already know the rules at this point, probably, but we'll go through them just before we start. Soon, we're going to wait for around probably 7 minutes or so, just to let people join the stream and jump on in. Then, once we're confident most people are here, we will dive on into the first challenge. In the meantime, if you want to give your rating for that challenge, then there is a poll up that you can do that on right now. So yeah, go ahead and do all that. Otherwise, myself and Phil will just sit here and, well, I guess talk to you guys and also talk about weird things. That's what we do. Oh man, I haven't seen that low poly scabbers for a while. Okay, so who have we got in here anyhow? Ooh, I have never seen you before. You're a new name. The Deadly TJ. Nice name. I actually really love this game, but I'm not sure if I'm blinded by nostalgia and 6-year-old me was simply more easy to thrill. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess you'll find out. You'll find out. Why? This is really weird. I think YouTube's, yeah, I think it is today, yeah. I think YouTube's filter thing for like messages is completely broken because someone has literally just said, "Hi guys, good evening," and it's classified that as being held for review.
Bizarre.
Don't ask. I mean, it's been a mess. YouTube's live streaming for like 3 weeks now.
Has it?
Yeah, there's all manner of weird things. Like the counter for how many people in the stream is broken now. Then, like, the counter that tells you how long you've been streaming for is completely broken now.
Really?
Like, I was streaming Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga like 2 days ago, right? And we were on it for about 3 hours at that point, and then it just went, "You've been streaming for exactly 20 minutes." It's like, no, I haven't.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, so I will keep an eye on the chat today, guys, seeing as, well, YouTube's broken and wants to block all your comments. So I'll keep an eye on it and make sure that you guys could show your comments.
Yeah, it didn't like me sending a teapot for some reason.
No, teapot is against the law. So there you go. Teapot and "hi guys, good evening" is also against the law, just so you know.
It's illegal.
It's completely illegal in the terms of YouTube, but that's fine. I'll keep an eye on it, so don't worry. Yeah, anyway, so how is everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing all right. I know that Phil is actually the opposite. We're like sharing roles the opposite way around this stream. If you guys were around for Chamber, you might remember that I was basically dead and dying from flu. So we're sort of reversing the roles as Phil is ill today.
Yeah, well, I think it's something coming on, and I can feel something in the back of my throat. Slowly developing, incubating.
Have you been taking that Ouroboros virus again, Phil? Without telling me.
What's that from?
Res 5.
Oh, I haven't played that, so.
Oh, come on, mate. It's like one of the most awesome quotes ever. You get good old Wesker standing there going, "Ouroboros will take over everything." Just like every cutscene where he says that, he always says it in such a weird way. You know, like all the other characters in the game always say Ouroboros or something like that, and then you get Wesker just going Ouroboros. It's just like, all right, calm down. A bit over the top.
Oh yeah, 5 is worth playing.
I would, yeah. I actually, ironically enough, hadn't played it for a little while and streamed it. Was that last week? Yeah, last week now on Saturday or whatever. It was nice going back to it, actually. It's a good game. I do enjoy it. However, I would say that it's definitely a game that would be more fun and definitely better if you really want to experience it on the hardest difficulty, which I'm currently playing it on stream, with an actual co-op partner, so like a real person, because the AI, and I kid you not, is the most useless thing ever. In fact, most of the stuff in stream for Res 5, when we were playing it on professional difficulty, I was killed by the AI being incompetent than actually dying myself. So
games.
It is, yeah. So yeah, that was good. So yeah, if you're gonna play that game on the hardest difficulty, so like veteran or professional, definitely play it with an actual human being, not like on your own, because it really shows. But of course, if you're playing on like the easier difficulties, it's not that big a deal, because usually the AI has quite a bit of health, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it varies. It varies. I would still say it's a decent game that's worthwhile playing. It does kind of copy and paste a lot of Res 4 though. Like, it's pretty obvious. If you played Res 4, of course. I assume you have, haven't you? Yeah. What? So have you just played all the old Res games, right?
I played. So we had 2 on the PS1 at home. Then I played the remake of the first one on PC, like a good number of years ago now, like 4 or 5 years ago. And then I played. I haven't played the third one yet, actually.
Really?
But I got it was a bit stressful.
It is.
I was also just like testing running emulators as well.
Yeah, see if it works. Yeah, it is quite.
I might like stream that one at some point. It'd be fun. And then I played Village 7, the remake of the second one. Yeah.
Have you played the remake of the third one?
No, I haven't played that again yet either.
Okay, I would recommend you play the original before you play the remake.
Okay.
Just because if you really want to experience Resident Evil 3 in my eyes, you need to play the old one. Because the remake, while it's not a bad game by any means, it's missing pretty much half the game. Or like the half of the original game, shall I say. It's not...
I played
as faithful.
Zero as well.
Oh yeah, Red Zero.
Which was a
giant scorpion on a train.
It was okay, the game. It was good, and then it kind of I don't know. There were bits that were really good, and then there were some bits that was just a bit.
I think when you get to the actual mansion bit is when I actually enjoy it. The whole train bit at the beginning I find awful. I think the other thing as well is Res Zero is like top peak anime to me. When you have a guy that literally
was he the opera guy or whatever?
Yeah, he's got a load of leeches coming to him when he sings opera. I'm sort of thinking to myself, well, this is certainly going a bit more anime than usual.
the leech-pied piper.
Yeah, it's just weird because anytime playing Res Zero, you get to like the main boss fight at the end of the game or something, you just got him singing opera. Sort of, you're sitting there going, well, to be fair, there is some kind of horror, I guess, to this. It does sound semi-terrifying, but not in the right way. It's all the wrong reasons. Yeah, so I think as you obviously said, you played the like older Res games. Res 3 Nemesis is probably the most difficult and also the most action-packed out of the old ones, easily. But it's a good game. I like it. Also, while we've been chatting about Res, hi everyone that's joined, by the way. Nice to see you all here. Don't worry, we are keeping an eye on your chat. Well, I am. I don't know about Phil, but I am.
Yeah, I've got it here. I'm spying on everyone.
Spying on everyone, are you? Do feel free to, of course, talk about anything that anyone says in the chat. Don't feel afraid to, Phil. Remember, you're here to talk about this stuff just as much as I am.
True.
Today you might get cancelled. Don't forget that.
I look forward to it every time, every opportunity. I try and make it happen.
Fair enough. Right, well, I think on that note, we have come to the end of my little bonus thing here. I think we've got enough people here. Of course, anyone... Oh, nice pose of Harry. Of course, anyone that joins the stream, later on, that's fine. Everyone else, I'm sure, will keep them up to date. So, we're going to get on with this. So, to explain the rule stuff to everyone right now, basically, how we're going to go about this is the criteria for how we're rating all of these will be down in the description of the stream. So if you open up the description, you can see all the different challenges that we'll be rating this stream, and you can also see all the different criteria for what we're rating each challenge against. So just to go through that quickly of the criteria, we're rating how useful the challenge is. So that's how useful the challenge is at teaching you the spell that you're learning, or activity, whatever it is. We also include how useful the spell, if it's a spell challenge, is outside of that challenge, so in the main game itself a bit as well. How fun the challenge is, so is it entertaining to play, basically. How difficult the challenge is, so is it a challenging challenge to complete, or is it really easy? And then, of course, we got the visuals of the challenge. Does it look visually appealing? Does it look visually terrible? And then the audio. So does the audio fit with the challenge? Is there a lot of audio in the challenge? Is the music good? Is it bad? So on. You get the idea. So those are the criteria that go against each one of these challenges. So that's how we're going to do that. We're also going to take it in turns, myself and Phil. So Phil, being the guest, is going to start this, of course. And then I will take charge of the next set of challenges that we do after this first one. But before we dive fully into that, we'll let Phil briefly introduce himself before then I finally explain the last part of what you guys are going to be doing in this stream. And then we'll get on with this. So, Phil, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody for the third time?
I was going to say, yeah. Hello, I'm Phil. My YouTube name is Phil of Glimmer. And I mostly play and do like video reviews for old games from my childhood. So things like the Harry Potter games. I've done some Lord of the Rings stuff, some Pixar games. At some point, I'm gonna move on and do some Spyro and Crash. But yeah, that's, I guess, the brief introduction.
It's not enough, Phil. I want more. I want more info. Tell us your entire life's history.
Well, when I was born, I always knew I was going to be a streamer. No.
Wow, that's a very early age to know about it. As a tiny little baby, I want to be a streamer. All right, cool. Well, in that case, you now know who Phil is, for those of you that are new, because I know some people are new to this series and haven't actually joined us, for example, Chips. So, yeah, you now know who Phil is. And he's had to do this 3 times now. He's probably getting used to it at this point. He might as well just write a book about...
Yeah.
The book is just called Introducing Phil of Glimmer. Anyway. Yeah. Anyhow, so... Lastly, explaining what you guys are going to be doing within this stream. So while myself and Phil are rating these challenges and giving our opinions on this, you guys are going to be rating on a poll that I put up for each challenge. Basically, out of the 3 options on that poll, whether you like the challenge, whether you think it's alright, or whether you think it's terrible. So we get all the results from that. And you guys are also going to be rating these challenges yourselves with scores. So you could either score each of the categories individually, or you could just do an overall score for the entire challenge and put that in the chat. Do this because myself and Phil, of course, will be reading out some of these afterwards. So yeah, get involved. That's the entire purpose of these, as everyone at this point that's been around for the previous ones will know. Alright. So I think that explains everything for everyone else. So we're going to whack on the Carpe Retractum challenge. And yeah, we're going to let Phil do his little thing and take it away, Phil.
Cool. So Carpe Retractum, the first spell challenge lesson of the game, with Ron for some reason, which is, whatever. And there's no like test bit at the beginning. There's no like drawing the symbol or doing the up, down, left, right bit anymore, which is, I guess, a shame. And yeah, so Carpe Retractum, that's a spell that you can pull yourself towards at certain points, or I think pull down, like, kind of like a, what is it? Not a pulley thing? I don't know what the right word is.
Pulley thing.
Pulley thing? Like a church bell kind of wrong. I don't know what that's called. But anyway. Yeah, so that's Carpe Retractum. And is this challenge useful? Sort of useful, because obviously it's teaching you how to use them, but they're not really that complicated to use, and they're not like hard to find or anything, because they're literally glowing purple orbs. So you're not going to miss them really. I think the only time you use it in the game where it's not necessarily obvious is when it's Peeves, but then again it's it's not difficult. And yeah, is this challenge challenging? It's not too difficult. There's some of those like timed platforms with like dropping off Carpe Retractum, which I suppose is a bit fun. There's that bit with the imps with the wizard crackers, which is
God. It's famous. Yeah, it's famous for all the wrong reasons. That.
Yeah. But it's a nice throwback to the like PS1 wizard crackers bit with Malfoy, which is nice. And that bit's a bit tricky, and it's tricky when the imp freezes and you have to go in and change all the settings to carry on with the game.
Yeah.
Is the challenge fun? It's I mean, pulling yourself towards things and like flying are always fun. I would say it's not as fun as similar things like Spongify though, because there's less freedom. You're not jumping up in the air. The challenge as a whole, it's okay. It's not super interesting. But I do like how it looks, because it's quite dark, which is nice. However, I would say it's an odd choice for the first level. Weird to have Ron, and also I don't think it suits the spell like at all, to be honest. The only way it kind of suits the spell is because the orbs are glowing, so it kind of highlights that. But where other levels have had the theme of the the buildings and the lights and the colors and everything usually matches the spell, whereas this one just doesn't at all. I'm trying to remember the music. I can't remember it specifically, but I think I remember it being reasonably okay, nothing too upbeat. But yeah, again, I don't think how spooky it is matches the spell. Yeah, so it's a weird presentation. I like it. I don't think it matches the spell though. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts for Carpe Retractum.
Cool. Well, I'm just witnessing possibly one of the most stressful parts of the game, just because you don't know if your game's going to completely break or not at this part. It's literally famous for all the wrong reasons. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I think, to be honest, Phil, you actually covered most of this entire challenge.
Yeah.
There's really not too much to add, but I guess my general opinions on it. How useful is the challenge? It teaches you Carpe Retractum for what you're really going to be using it for, which is pulling a lot of levers around, basically, a lot of the time. You don't tend to use the... I mean, I won't quite quote it as Phil did, but the weird sort of triangle pillar things.
Yeah.
You don't use them that much throughout the actual game. You kind of... I mean, you use them at points, but not a lot. It's usually, like I said, levers that you use Carpe Retractum on a lot more. And yeah, I think really it would have been nice to have actually seen a few more of those actual pillar triangle things. I don't know what they're called, but those things throughout the actual game. It would have been quite nice. You do see that, from my memory, quite frequently during the what's it called, the exam of Carpe Retractum, but we'll come on to that later. Yeah, so I mean, it's useful for teaching you how Carpe Retractum works. That's that. I mean, the only time it doesn't teach you about anything that you might use this spell on, which is like the odd occasion I might add, is with Peeps, like Phil said earlier on. Which is basically where you have to like shoot Carpe Retractum at his armor to put it off in order to attack him. But it doesn't really matter. You're only going to do it once. So how fun is this challenge? To be honest with you, not that fun. I can't really say I had a lot of fun playing this challenge. It's just, to me, it's just a challenge, really. It's something that you do, and that's about it. But I can't say that there's any point in it where I'm having a lot of fun with what I'm doing. This is kind of going to be a theme you'll find throughout Prisoner, just to add that. But yeah, how difficult is this challenge? Okay, to be honest, out of all the challenges in the game, with the exception of Glacius, which I'll get onto in a bit, this is probably the hardest challenge. And the reason I say that is because of the amount of jumping puzzle bits in it. And I know that you could say that really the jumping stuff is not that hard, but think about this also from a person who doesn't play a lot of games, right? Or a young, I don't know, kid or something that doesn't play games much, or is their first time playing it. These are actually quite challenging, some of these jumps. And Carpe Retractum as well. You've got to time your Carpe Retractum spell cast to get across these actual platforming parts, right? Like we saw a minute ago in the gameplay. So, yeah, it can be quite difficult at points, but for the most part, the challenge is pretty reasonable. But it has its moments. Visually, it's a very grey challenge. It really is grey. I kind of feel like this challenge is taking place in the dungeons, but at the same time it's not, because you've got windows and things from the upper castle. So where is this? And whoever designed this part of the castle has zero sense of colour, just to get that across. But I guess the only part that I could say is really colourful about this challenge is actually the foggy, misty areas. That's where the challenge actually has some colour to it. Otherwise, it's quite plain, bland, boring colours to me. But there you go. Does that fit with the spell as well, the kind of colour scheme? Not really. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe Phil has something else to add on that in a minute, but I don't think so. Then audio-wise, it's got quite sort of creepy audio, this challenge. I like to add that literally the entire audio for this challenge is taken from previous games. But yeah, it's got creepy audio either way, which is good. It fits the theme of what they're I guess what they're trying to show here while you're playing this challenge. It's got this sort of dark look to it, and as a result it's got kind of creepy music to it, which is cool. You know, it fits the theme of it. But does it make me feel like I'm casting the spell Carpe Retractum? Does it make me feel like I'm pulling things, this audio and so on? Not really. Obviously, when you pull levers and that with this spell, yeah, you can kind of get the sense that it makes you feel like you're actually pulling something. But when you're like flinging up towards Carpe Retractum, purple triangle things, whatever they're called, no, I don't feel like I'm flying towards them or pulling myself towards them at all. Not really. But there you go. So yeah, those are my points on Carpe Retractum. So I guess let's give our scores. Phil, you're first up, mate.
I'm gonna give it a whopping 4 out of 10.
Ooh. 4. Ooh. We're starting this off with a very low number. This is risky, mate. You're about to get cancelled. Everyone's going to cancel you now. Oh, Ron's just killed himself. Right, anyway. There you go. He was so embarrassed by the score, he decided to commit suicide. That could have been better time, to be fair. Wow, okay. I haven't seen this gameplay, by the way, for a long time. So, yeah, I guess my score for this challenge... I mean, I don't hate the challenge, but at the same time, I don't find it fascinating. So, I'm pretty much in the middle with it. I can't really give it a low score, because like I said, I don't hate it. So, I'm giving it a 5. It's going in the middle, because there's nothing good about it, but there's nothing bad about it, really. Other than the imp, I guess, you could say. But that is a technological problem, so I don't really count that. But yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Those are our scores. 4 and a 5.
Pretty middling challenge.
Oh,
this game doesn't have... The levels aren't timed, are they?
No, they're not. We didn't mention that, actually. So,
yeah, that's another thing that makes it just less hard, and I think in a way makes it less interesting. Like if this level was timed, I think it would be a lot more interesting because then you have to like actually risk doing some of the Carpe Retractum bits a lot faster, like the ones where you fly.
So the one thing I'll say about Prisoner that is weird in some ways, in my opinion, what they went for here, but I'm guessing people must have complained a lot in the previous games. Yeah. So with Philosopher's Stone, people will remember that you had to actually draw out the spell before the lesson, but there was no timer in the actual lesson challenges themselves. But to be fair, if there was, I think it would have been on a stress level beyond truth, because drawing those spells is very stressful at points. Yeah. So yeah, then with Chamber of Secrets, they changed it so that you had arrow keys instead for the like drawing of the spells. So instead, you just push arrow keys at certain points, and that's that. Which is fine. I mean, it was really easy, but yeah, it was fine. But what they did to compensate for this, of course, was add in timers to the challenges. So you actually had to do these challenges in a certain amount of time to get a good score, you know, for house points, but also to be able to complete them. It kind of made it feel a bit more pressurizing and at the same time a bit more energetic for each challenge, right? So a bit more fun. Whereas with this game, there's no spell learning at the beginning, so no drawing, no arrow keys, because apparently arrow keys must have been too difficult for people. And there's no timer in the challenges, so yeah. I mean, literally so easy. But
yeah, like I think literally if the level was timed, I would probably give it like a 6 or something. 6 maybe. Well, I don't know, because
that's very generous.
I'll have to play it again and like force myself to do it in like 1 minute or something.
1 minute? I mean, that's quite a extreme challenge, that, but good try. I mean, good try. If you do it, let me know. All right, so we're going to quickly now just have a look and see what some of you guys have said. We'll also quickly look at the poll itself, see what we've got. So 59% have said it is a cool. Yeah, it is a cool. It's not bad, basically, is 41%, and no one said it was awful. So no one hates this challenge. That is a good start for this game.
Kind of 50-50 then, with people liking it and being okay with it.
Which I expected, to be fair, with this challenge, because I don't know anyone that's like...
It's not bad.
Great.
It's just not got a lot to it.
Yeah. I know that if you ask anyone usually whether they think that this is better than Rich's Emperor or Flipendo's challenges as the first challenges from the other games, no one ever says that this is better. Everyone says that this is worse than both of those. So, yeah, I knew that was coming. But I would say I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised. People were somewhat positive about this challenge. So, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give you all credit. I'll give you all credit where credit is due. So, what we got here? We've got an 8 out of 10 from Farron.
Loves it.
Yeah, obviously really keen on this one. Oh, Ron's just killed himself again. God, I died a lot in this gameplay. Jeez. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we got a 10-ish. Jesus. Alright, fair enough. You still got time, by the way, guys, if you want to actually give a score out of 10 quickly. Just dump your scores. Go on, dump them. Do it quickly before you run out of time. Before we move on. And you can watch Ron getting, well, diabetes, basically. So, yeah, now's your chance.
Man says it's a darker version of Rictus Emperor, which is true. It feels, which is, I don't know, because I feel like Rictus Emperor makes more sense being a bit dark, because it's like very all about combat, whereas Carpe Retractum just has no reason to be that dark at all.
So the Deadly TJ actually said the drawing of the symbol before the challenge along with a broomstick flying I don't really miss. So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. I can understand that. Personally, I actually quite like the drawing just because it's challenging, but I can understand why people don't miss it. Like it, yeah. So don't worry, I respect your opinion on that one, to be honest, TJ. I respect it. Oh, we even have Winch saying, "Are you two a couple?" No. But I guess if you look at the stream from that point of view with the cameras, then yeah, I suppose we are somewhat together almost.
There is two of us, yes.
Yes.
Roberto sent me some of his because he couldn't make it to the stream.
Yes, he told me about that earlier. I told him to send all of his stuff to you, actually.
Yeah.
So
he
yeah.
loves the lofty dungeons look of the challenge, which I do like it. I just don't think it matches it. Spell is fun and useful. Really like that the wizard cards are thematically sorted per challenge. Actually, that's something I didn't even realise, I don't think.
No, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Likes the platforming, not that difficult. Sadly, there isn't as much to explore and find as in Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, I think that's all pretty fair.
Yeah,
I
actually.
liked I'm a little bit behind in the video, but in the Bean Bonus room, the light coming through the windows.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, it's got all of the outline and everything. I think that's pretty nice.
You're already talking about the last part. Stop it. Stop talking about it.
It's on the screen right now. I can't help it.
Well, stop. The ones are less scary. Pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes. Yeah. I like the hidden secrets on the challenge. That's fair enough. There are some.
There are a few of them now.
Yeah, I think the one with. Actually, I'll find it. Where is it? So there's the one in particular. Is it before this? It is, isn't it? Yeah. This one. Yeah. I quite like this one where you have to come up to this area and then basically there's just a very not obvious at all doorway which you can go through in order to get one of the secret chests to actually get one of the wizard cards. And actually, to be fair, the only reason most people would actually look at that and cast at the knights at all is probably if they played the previous games. Because in Prisoner, a lot of the time, there aren't that many knights actually compared to the other games, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's probably the reason when I was a kid I bothered casting at it, to be honest. So what we got? Yeah, I do hate how you get so many rewards, but you still need more for the portrait passwords. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think to be fair, we've got most of what we got here. Any new scores that might have come in? Any new scores? There are so many beans. There are a lot of beans. Not quite as many beans as Goblet of Fire, though. Alright, I think that'll conclude then Carpe Retractum. So,
yay!
We've come to the conclusion that Carpe Retractum is
okay.
Basically somewhat in the middle. So,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. I respect that. So, while I end this poll and start up the next one, you do what you do best, which is come up with some random fact to talk about.
This level's not giving me much to go off, to be honest.
Do you like imps?
Quick, let me think of something. Oh god.
Just say you do like.
I thought of questions for some of the other levels.
Do you like Ron being a playable character first before everyone else for a challenge?
That's a good question. I just thought, not really a question, but why did they get rid of Flipendo, make it Depulso, and change the symbol to the... Is that the one they changed the Retractum symbol? And
don't. That gives me PTSD, that.
It's so strange.
It's weird. You go from seeing the Rich's Emperor symbol, and then it's just like the Depulso, and then you've got the new symbol being Rich's Emperor, and you just sort of think in your head, no. What's wrong?
It's like, I get it in, like, say, the different platforms, but this is, like, made by the same people. Like, it's the PC still. The only thing that changed was the engine. Like, and maybe they were like, we want a fresh start, except we won't make it a fresh start because we'll keep the same enemies and symbols, but just mix up some stuff. And it's like, okay.
I mean, you're not wrong, to be fair. No.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, when they were making this game, you could see like fully that it's a rushed as hell game. This one, the fact that they kept the walking cycle and you like walk sideways and you're still walking forward, it already implies that anyway. But
it's weird because some of the graphics in this game are amazing, and some of it is just so obviously rushed.
yeah, I mean the funny thing actually with this game is, if you look at the files, you know, you've got things like the gnome that was meant to be in this game that was cut out of it and so on. So, you know, I think they were probably going to put a lot more into this game than they actually ended up getting the chance to do. And I honestly do believe that Flipendo was probably going to be in this game. The fact that Alahamor is in it, the fact that Spongify of all spells is in it. You know, I think Flipendo was going to be in it originally and they just didn't have time. Probably. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Right, well, good news, everyone. We're done with Carpe Retractum.
Bye.
So, goodbye, Carpe Retractum. We now have a very beautiful, in fact, just to build up the beautiful tension, we're going to get our boy. I mean, you can't really have a stream without this fella on it. Here he is. Oh, what a beauty. Peeves. Okay, right, anyway.
I was not brought up with the video. I had no idea what was happening. Now it makes sense.
There's Peeves. You should know that whenever I build up something that big, it's going to be Peeves. Anyway, yeah, so I put up the poll for everyone in the chat, so you guys can go and vote for this next challenge, and you can say whether you love it, whether you think it's alright, or whether you think it's terrible. And this next challenge is actually 2 spells in one, and that's the Lapifors and Draconifors spells. So, yeah, I get to take the first reign on this one. Lucky me. Oh, Phil, you get to just sit back and relax.
To start.
What are you complaining about? You get Expecto Patronum, mate. Actually, come to think of it, just look at this. I get this challenge, which is pretty good. And I get Glacius. I get Glacius. And then you get Expecto Patronum and stuff. Oh, dear. This is... I might have to change up at one point just because I feel bad. All right.
Carry on.
Right, let me skip to actual gameplay of the challenge quick, and alright, so here we go. So, yes, this is Lapifors and Draconifors. So, what do I think of this challenge? How useful is it? Okay, so it's useful at teaching you how to use Lapifors, which you will literally only use on rabbit statues. You use it on nothing else. By the way, controlling the rabbit and that, pretty awesome. I'll get onto that in a minute. So, yeah, teaches you what you need to know with Lapifors. You control rabbit, you do what you need to do with that. However, this spell is not used that much throughout the rest of the game. It's used at, like, very certain key points, but it's very rarely used. So it's kind of a shame it's not used more, because it is actually, in my opinion, one of the more interesting and fun spells to actually use. I could also hear Hermione and McGonagall talking over each other. Then also Draconifors. So this is an intriguing one, Draconifors, because again it only has one use, which is to basically control a dragon, which sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Actually, controlling a dragon and basically using that to get through certain puzzles, open up doorways, things like that. However, I will add that Draconifors is used way more throughout the rest of the game, but it controls terribly.
Everyone in the chat's reading you to filth because it's Draconifors.
Everyone says it differently in the games and things.
I say everyone, literally one person. I think it's yeah.
Whatever, I don't care at this point. Everyone says it differently. Play all the games.
Draconifors, not Draconifors, says Hermione.
Oh, whatever. Fine, Draconifors. There you go. Happy now? It doesn't matter. Everyone says it differently in these things, so fine.
It's true.
We'll just go with Draconifors, then there you go. Happy. So yeah. What was I saying? Before you interrupted me about the way I was saying it. I completely lost track of my thoughts now. Oh yeah. The controls. So yeah, it controls terribly in this game. Your dragon will get caught on things all the time, and this does play into the useful part of the challenge, because It makes it very, very not useful when playing with this dragon and doing stuff throughout the rest of the game and this challenge, because your dragon will get stuck, and I kid you not, on pretty much every single possible object in the environment due to the hitboxes for this freaking wings on the dragon being way too large. Way too large. So it's actually kind of stressful in certain situations, flying the dragon, actually. Especially in the exam, which I'll get onto later. So how fun is this challenge? Love the challenge. I actually find this challenge really fun. I don't know what it is really about this challenge that I find really incredibly fun, but I think overall it's probably just the fact that I, for the first time ever, get to control magical creatures inside a game of Harry Potter, which we never ever have had before this. So pretty damn awesome. I'm talking about PC only, by the way, in this regard, not, you know, all the other ones. So yeah, controlling the dragon and also the rabbit is pretty damn awesome and fun, to be fair. I mean, the dragon has its problems, but it's still cool. Yeah, and in general, I think it's a fun challenge to play, actually. It has some really entertaining difficulty spikes in places too, which I think are all fair and reasonable. And it's got some cool secrets in it, actually, this challenge. I like the secrets, including the one that actually was effectively cut at the end of like the very last level, where there's a hedge that has an Alohomora spell on it that you can't open with Alohomora. But there you go, it exists. How difficult is the challenge? Not that difficult. The only thing I'd say makes it difficult is the dragon's wings sometimes getting stuck on objects because the hitboxes are terrible, but that's about it. Otherwise, not very difficult. I suppose the Bunderman creatures that shoot like goo in circles can be a bit annoying when there's multiple of them, but not that difficult to deal with in my opinion. Visuals. This is a visually beautiful looking challenge. Now, I know Phil will talk about this in a bit, but I want to briefly mention this myself, because I want to let him talk about this point, as he's very good at this. But the challenge here effectively is what the challenge from Philosopher's Stone Incendio should have probably looked like. This is what a greenhouse design feels and looks like to me, rather than kind of what we got with Incendio. But don't get me wrong, Incendio was still great, but this one looks beautiful. Also, the amount of flowers and plants and things around the place, and actually how detailed they are as well, I might add, is really nice. It's impressive. It looks beautiful, this challenge. They definitely aced it. Also, the lighting that you see through the windows and things looks pretty reasonable. Yeah, and then the audio. This has got to be possibly the most peaceful audio in the entirety of the game. This is a really peaceful environment when playing this challenge. You feel at peace when playing this because it's just really relaxing music. What's great as well is when you start controlling the dragon in particular. I can't quite remember about the rabbit. I think it's similar. The music really becomes relaxing with them, and I love that. It's really nice, you know. It makes you feel like you're in a nice moment. So yeah, I think that really covers it, to be honest. I will hand you over to Phil.
Yeah, that does cover most of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll go over some of it again. Yeah, so I really like this challenge. I really like it. Yeah, usefulness. It's good in terms of like practicing how to fly the dragon. Mostly because the dragon and Buckbeak have very similar, if not the same, controls in that it's like a jump up and then let gravity take you down and then jump up. I guess like Flappy Bird, really, like the early Flappy Bird. And actually, it was interesting that you were saying that there's not much other use for the rabbit. And I was thinking, it would have been nice if there was like a similar like rabbit mini game in terms of like, because Buckbeak is like the dragon, so it would be nice if there was like another way that you got to use the rabbit as well. But it's a shame that there isn't. But and yeah, the challenge or difficulty rabbit sections are pretty straightforward, but I love them anyway. The dragon controls. It controls. I don't know. I've written here in my notes that it controls pretty well. It controls like weirdly. It controls very strange, but I kind of like it because you're not just like constantly flying, so there's a bit more control over it in that respect. but the wings get caught on absolutely everything, and it is really annoying. Yeah. And then I guess for the rest of the level, the Bundermen are gross, and the slime can be easy to accidentally stand in, especially because obviously if it leaves it behind. So if you're too rushing off, you might accidentally get caught in it. But besides that, it's not too difficult. I don't think it necessarily has to be that difficult. Is it fun or interesting? Yes, I think this challenge is very fun. Controlling the rabbit is amazing. It's just as bouncy as you would imagine controlling a rabbit would be. The little dragons are so cute, and flying them is pretty nice. Although there's a few long sections flying the dragons which do go on a little bit, especially because getting caught on everything can be quite frustrating. Yeah, the rabbit being able to eat the grass is a nice touch. I've written here there's not too many secrets. I can't remember exactly, but there's a lot to do in the level anyway, so I don't think it's too bad if there aren't. And a lot of like interesting puzzles. And yeah, in terms of how it looks, there's actually a fair bit of variety, because you've got obviously like the main greenhousey bits, which I agree it's kind of what Incendio could or should have looked like. I mean, obviously this is a whole different engine. We're in the future here, so it's gonna look better anyway. But I think it does look probably what they were trying to go for in Incendio. So like an old Victorian kind of greenhouse with tiles and yeah, that kind of thing. The bits inside Hogwarts also look pretty nice with the stone and all the tiles and everything, and matches the rest pretty well. The outside rabbit bits, all the plants are luscious. I mean, I'm a sucker for plants. Like any game that's gonna have a lot of plants in, I'm gonna like. So, and yeah, the music is really charming and suits it really well. Especially like the when you're controlling the rabbit or the dragon, like it's very whimsical and uplifting and just like spot on, really. Yeah. And actually, the last bit, this is more, I guess, a kind of fun, kind of, I don't know, but after the level when Hermione comes out and it's like, I can turn things into dragons, and then Ron just like, he's like, oh, big dragons, and she's like, no, I don't know, I just find that really funny. But yeah.
So that's you mean this bit? There it is. There you are.
Yeah, I don't know why, but this is just another thing about them cutting corners. But they both do the same like movement for their both speechy bits. They kind of like do their arms like that. It's funny. Like that's just them cutting corners again.
I mean, to be fair, the facial animations in this game are a bit debatable, but we'll get on to that. This is promising. Phil is actually saying good things about a level.
Well, I'll say good things when they're good, you know.
I'll say good things when they're good. What happens when they're bad? He just all of a sudden gives them praise out of nowhere. Alright, well, it's time for us to give our ratings. So, we all know at this point, right, that Phil has already given a 10 in this series in Chamber of Secrets.
He did. It was for...
And
right? Yeah.
Yep, and I have yet to give a 10. I have never given one. Well,
Never.
Now it's officially about to change. So, despite the fact that the dragon has terrible controls, yeah, and granted that I can't blame that entirely on the challenge, because it's not entirely the challenge's fault, is it really? I'm giving it a 10. It's getting a 10. There you go. My first 10. Suck it right in. Because you're not going to see it again.
I'm going to give it a 9 because I basically agree with everything except I think, yeah, it's not quite perfect because of the whole dragon getting caught on bits. But I absolutely love this level. Yeah. So, yeah, 9 and 10.
There you go. That's
good. That's
pretty incredible. Be prepared to probably never see a 10 again, everyone. But there you go. We've at least both given a 10 now, finally, in this series.
Yay.
Anyhow, so there you go. That's our viewpoints on this. So let's just see what the polls have got here for our lovely Lapifors and Draconifors, as everyone wants me to say that. So we got 73% on beautiful. We've got 18% on it's alright. And we've got 9% on no way man. There are, there is some hate for it. Now that's not acceptable.
What was the percentages again, sorry?
73%, 18 and 9.
Okay, yeah. 73, that's good.
It's very good. It's better than Carpe Retractum. So yeah, it's doing well. Although whoever said they hated it, I question you. It's fine. I won't judge you too harshly. Anyway, so let's have a look and see if anyone gave any actual scores. So Barb's, I've just seen immediately. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 just because I don't like Bundements.
Fair enough reason.
Yeah, it's a good reason. Although they would probably be quite fun as a pet, although it would involve a lot of cleaning.
I was going to say,
John gave it a 9. Really like it too. Love the plant. Everyone, including myself, loves the plants. It's all about plants. And also, Phil, you were saying earlier that you love any game with, some kind of foliage in it. Well, maybe you should play Grass Simulator.
Does that exist?
It does exist, yeah.
Grass Simulator, let me look it up.
It's on Steam. It's actually on Steam. It's a game.
Exactly. It's got mixed reviews.
No, I wonder why. But yeah, it is actually a game.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think I really like games with plants in because of the A Bug's Life game. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh, that's just that's
the PS1 game. Oh, I remember it. It's actually quite a difficult game at points. Right.
Anyway, I've got some of Roberto's thoughts as well.
Yeah, feel free to read
Finally,
those out.
Transfiguration, a good point actually. First time it turns up, but it's weird because it basically feels like a herbology challenge.
Yeah.
Because we're in
a greenhouse.
Again. Like the games have definitely got some repeated themes, which is fine, obviously. But yeah, he absolutely adores the bunny and baby dragon. Being able to control a cute Norbert-looking dragon is awesome. Yeah, I love the music that plays when you're flying the dragon. And he said he used to fly around just enjoying the music. Yeah, and there's a nice that it's like a bit outside and a bit inside. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, to be fair, he has a very, very valid point in regards to Transfiguration. It's funny because Transfiguration was meant to be in both Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, but was cut from both.
Oh, really?
But you even have the spells that you're going to do for it. So, like, Philosopher's Stone, they were going to have Avifors in it, which didn't make it in, of course, and so on. But what's interesting, of course, is with Chamber, they actually kept the classroom. And they put an Easter egg in there instead. So
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's no reason they would have made the classroom if they weren't actually going to use it.
It was going to be used. It was just cut because they didn't have enough time, I think.
Yeah.
But they did put an Easter egg in it, though. So fair play.
Yeah.
I mean, McGonagall just gets completely thrown to the side, it seems. Must suck, that.
It's strange. She's such a popular character, actually.
Yeah, she's also way more important than someone like Flitwick, in my opinion, but...
Yeah, than, like, Professor Sprout.
Yeah, literally. What I find amazing is, like, you've got Madam Hooch teaching you Quidditch practice, right, or broomstick practice in the first game, but you don't have Transfiguration. It's a bit weird, but whatever, it's fine. I want 3-hour plus cuts of all the films. To be fair, I would like to see that myself. Yes, I actually heard about the fact that Chris Columbus wants to release his 3-hour cut of Philosopher's Stone, which would include the cut stuff from Peeves, his actor, and so on that was originally filmed. I hope they actually do release that, because that would be really awesome to see. And I would like to see it for Philosopher's Stone and Chamber, definitely. I think it would be interesting to see that for Goblet of Fire as well, just to see what that film might have originally looked like. But yeah, I'm interested in that, if it ever happens. Hopefully it will. Yeah, so for the most part, everyone is agreeing on the fact that it's very peaceful. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, everyone seems to be pretty positive in regards to this challenge. So yeah, I like it. I like the fact that the chat is agreeing with us for once, Phil. Makes a change. Farron also gave it a 9. So 9% people hate plants. Yeah, who is that? You're a questionable human being. Are you a human? Maybe you're one of those octopus things from the lake in HP4. Is that? Yeah. I mean, I can understand that there. Right. So, yeah, I think to be honest, that'll be good. Although one thing I will add as a meme-worthy thing to end this lovely challenge on is it would have been nice if we could have saved Sirius Black with a, rabbit rather than Buckbeak. But we don't get what we want all the time. Cool. Right, I'm going to end the poll then for this lovely challenge. And we're going to move on to one that Phil has to somehow give good positive points about.
Not possible.
Not possible, you say. Okay, right, well anyway, I'm going to set up the next poll. So, Phil, I will leave you to talk about cool things.
If you had to pick an animal, could be a fantasy creature as well, for kind of like that level, but like instead of a statue of a rabbit or a dragon, but it's like some other animal, what would you choose? I would probably choose. I was gonna say some kind of bird, but then that's pretty similar to the dragon actually. Maybe a cat. That would be quite interesting. Because cats, very nimble, jumping everywhere. Very, what's the word? Don't know. But yeah, I think a cat would be nice to control. Either for in real life or for in the game,
I mean, I've already had a lot of horrendous experiences in these games with cats. It's called Mrs. Norris. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't mind being able to control a lot of the different creatures inside Harry Potter, actually. You could get some cool things if you controlled, like some of the underwater creatures would be quite interesting, I think. Or even a guide trash, that would be interesting to control, actually. A troll.
Roll!
It literally, you could just control your troll to come into the Great Hall and just sit down on top of one of the tables.
That would be fun.
I have the last few minutes of points to give out. Just a big troll.
That would be a good trick because you're just controlling the statue, cause havoc, and then it just disappears, and everyone's like, "What just happened?"
Literally. Why is the table smashed? Why is there food everywhere? Yeah, so we got Niffler. Yeah, Niffler would be interesting. Owls, which to be fair, you get in the PS2 version with Hedwig. Granted, not via spell, but yeah. Bird. Yeah. The 9% who don't like plants are actually plants. They can use computers now.
True.
You're right, TJ. Oh man, I didn't know that plants were able to play Fortnite. What a shame.
Wait, this is actually kind of creepy for this kind of thing. So, I've read a academic paper where I didn't read it properly, but you can like make electrodes or like wires inside plants. Literally just like I think I don't know if they inject something and then it just forms like electrical wires inside plants, but pretty wacky, pretty like plants becoming computers vibe.
I mean, the thing is, what is really the massive benefit of doing this, though? Like, other than
Not
spying on people, I guess that's about the only thing I could possibly think of the benefit of this. Maybe, I suppose, to monitor, like, the life of plants in a like massive radius. That's really about it. Can't wait for Las Vegas, which is just pure desert, to all of a sudden have a load of plants with electronics in them. So how are you doing today? 0 water, fantastic. Okay, right, well,
Anyway,
Phil, you know what it's time for in a second. So everyone in the chat, I put up the new poll, which is for Expecto Patronum's spell challenge / lesson, as it's kind of both. So yeah, vote away. In the meantime, Phil is going to take it away. Enjoy,
right.
Phil.
Gonna take long. Is it useful? It's not useful, but it's just situational completely, obviously, because it's, you know, I can't remember exactly how many times it comes up with the Dementors, but it's not a lot. It's probably like 2 or 3 times after this. So I guess it's useful in terms of teaching you about doing the spell bit to the end of the wand. That's kind of it. Is it challenging or difficult? It's not really. So yeah, you have to time the spell a bit, and that's a kind of nice. That's kind of like a nice feature, because at least it makes it feel a bit more real. Like, you have to actually put some thought into it, like doing the spell until it reaches the end. But is it difficult? No, because the Dementors take literally, I can't remember how long it was, but I timed it for when I did a review.
I think it's 3 minutes or something.
3 minutes until they reach you. So it's like, yeah, sure, it seems scary and stressful before that, but knowing that, absolutely not difficult at all. Is it fun or interesting? It's short, which is either good or bad, depending on how you feel about the level. The drop in the floor was kind of a nice touch. I guess it's a bit like scary, which could be fun, you know. But overall, it's not really that interesting. And presentation-wise, it looks okay. Like, the bit sort of in the classroom is kind of nice, pretty standard Hogwartsy, intricate, dark, blah blah blah. The bit down the trapdoor is cool. I can't remember exactly, but it's either like mirrors, or it's really icy, or like glowing blue, or something like that.
It's basically just a big grey room with fog and a massive load of Dementors in it.
Is it actually?
Yeah. You'll see it in a minute.
Maybe it's not as cool as I remember. Yeah, that's, you know, there's not a lot to say about this challenge, really. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Cool. No audio thoughts at all?
Oh, I can't remember. And I didn't write anything down, so I can't imagine I was actually that impressed.
That already sums it up quite well, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a quick one, because there's not a lot to say about this, in all honesty. How useful is it? It teaches you Expecto Patronum. You're going to use that a total of, I believe it's 3 times for the rest of the game, although one of those times you use it basically back to back. So, yeah, you're not going to use it much. It's not like the PS2 version where you can cast it whenever you like, which is way more interesting. So, yeah, it teaches you the spell, but it's not that amazing, in all honesty. So I wouldn't call it that useful, but it's semi-useful. Is it fun? No. This is not a fun challenge. Anyone that says that this is fun, I don't know what you really find fun in life, if I'm honest. But yeah, I can't say I find this fun, in particular with the fact that, like, this section here with the Dementors, where, you know, this is meant to be the build-up point of, this is your first time to see a Dementor. This is meant to be quite difficult. This is meant to be scary, interesting, and it does the complete opposite of that. It's boring as hell. They take forever to get to you. They don't look terrifying whatsoever. It's just sort of like, meh. So, yeah, it's not fun. I said it. There you go. Is it a difficult challenge? No, it's really easy actually. Really easy, way too easy for its own good actually. It's like impossible to fail this, quite frankly. And if you do, you did it on purpose. I don't know a single person that actually failed this not on purpose. It's just not possible. Here's this bit that you were talking about earlier, by the way, Phil.
Yeah.
There you
also,
go.
not to interrupt you, but when you were saying about how it's almost impossible to fail, which is like the opposite of what happens in the book and the film, because Harry just struggles so much past Expecto Patronum.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah, I guess I don't normally do this with this series, but I am going to briefly compare the difficulty of this to the PS2 version of this. I know Phil hasn't played this, so I'm not going to spoil it too much, but it is easily, without any question of a doubt, a bit of a piss take, this one, compared to the PS2 version. PS2 version actually makes the player think when they're doing the challenge, actually makes the player kind of be more aware of their surroundings, and the fact that Dementors in that challenge can move around wherever they like rather than in a very select pattern. Yeah, it really puts this one to shame. So yeah, it's a brief comparison to not spoil it completely for Phil, but it's pretty bad, this one, in comparison.
I think I realised that anyway.
Well, yeah. So, is it a difficult challenge? No, we've gone through that pretty much. Visuals, I will give this challenge this. It does look visually kind of dark and somewhat, I guess it reflects what a Dementor sort of shows in the environment a bit, because it is quite a dark looking challenge. It has a lot of shadow effects in it. It's got a lot of creepy skulls and that in a certain spot. The thing I do love about this challenge actually is the blue flame torches. I really like that. It looks nice. Also, just visually, I want to add here that there is a cage with a spider in it, and that spider is actually Aragog's model from the Chamber of Secrets PC edition, just shrunk. So, just so you're aware. Audio-wise, the only part of this audio-wise I like is when you're fighting these Dementors here in this section, because it's got a really epic theme tune for attacking the Dementors and that, and it makes you feel like a bit of a badass, I won't lie. To the point where I actually would be quite willing to not kill the Dementors just to listen to the song. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I mean, visually fine, I guess. Audio-wise, nothing else special. So yeah, I think that does it.
The sound the spell makes is kind of nice, like a little kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I've never really thought about it, to be honest.
I'm literally just trying to find one good thing here. And yeah, the downstairs bit, not as good as I remember. It doesn't look as good.
Yeah, I kind of ruined that for you earlier, didn't I? You were standing there and you were like...
I remember it looking good.
You're sitting there going, yeah, that bit looks great in the level. And then I go, it's actually just a hole with a bit of fog in it, really.
Oh no, you were right.
So here's the Aragorn Spider, by the way, for people that were wondering. I'll leave it paused quickly while we just give our scores, so people actually can see what I'm on about. That is Aragorn's model from Chamber of Secrets on PC. Literally just shrunk. So there you go. He's also, I might add, at the beginning of the game as well on the train carriage. So there you go. Right. Also, spiders were cut from this game. That's another interesting fact.
Another thing cut.
I know a lot of cut things for this game, but yeah, anyway. So, here we go. Score-wise, Phil, you're first.
I'm going to give it an absolutely massive 2 out of 10. Oh.
That's quite generous. That's really generous. I'm giving it a 1.
Wow.
By the way,
pretty similar with the scores so far.
Yeah, we do so far. It's right. I'm just going to let you quickly read the chat and talk to things. I need to turn on the light because it's gone pitch black here, and I'm literally now in the dark.
I was going to say most of the 2 is mostly just for how it looks up until the point you drop down. Because actually, the Hogwartsy bit looks kind of nice. Yeah, like the architecture's cool. It's dark. The spell bit is kind of nice, but the actual challenge itself, I don't really find that interesting, to be honest.
Right, I'm back. I now have light.
Wow.
I can be seen.
Trying to see what other people have. People that haven't commented too much.
I mean,
fascinated by Aragorn.
Are they? Fair enough.
He's got 2 boggarts though, that's true. But don't worry, the actual Dementors are just as easy. Not a lot. Not a lot. Even Roberto didn't give any comments. That's how.
They didn't give any comments on it at all.
Nothing.
Nothing. I
Not
mean,
even there. Obviously left a big impression.
I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot to say about this. I wasn't expecting many people to say a lot for it. Alex, you look very dark on camera. I do indeed. That's why I turned on the light. Like when we started this one, I had a look and went, I am pretty dark now. But to be fair, I think it fits the theme of this level, so I'll keep it on like that, and then I'll turn the light on. So yeah, I mean, it works. Makes the level more interesting. There you go. I'm getting the spooky theme. You're correct, Barbs. It was deliberate. All deliberate. You all had no idea. Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, pretty much everyone doesn't say a lot about it. Although there is a point here. What was this? Make sure you get the ring onto the end of your wand. Yeah. Breaking the fourth wall a little bit when Lupin goes, hold down the left mouse button. It's like,
I love that, like, weird breaking the fourth wall, like, press the arrow keys to...
It's when Lockhart does it in Chamber of Secrets as well, where he goes, that is a fire crab, hold down your left mouse button.
I mean, well, Harry in real life is like, what is that?
Imagine if that happened for Harry while he was in Ollivanders choosing his wand. Hold down your left mouse button to aim at my bookshelf. Anyway, so we got some scores. We got some scores here at the end. We've got Farron with a 7 out of 10. We've got Barbs with a 3 out of 10 because I like Lupin. Fair enough. I mean, that's generous. You're all being way too generous. A 7 out of 10 is extremely generous. Yeah, I think today is a typo day. Yeah, is your 7 out of 10 a typo by any chance? My friend and I sometimes played. We keep saying he's not carrying a laptop. Okay. Anyway, we now have the library level because it's a better level than the level we just literally talked about. So enjoy that for the minute. So what are the scores? So we got amazing challenge, 33%. Blimey. I don't know. I don't understand it personally. My brain can't comprehend that. Okay, 44. That's a bit more reasonable. And 22. Only 22. Deary me. I'm disappointed by you, chat.
No one wanted to bite the bullet and say that they didn't like it.
Come on, guys, you got to bite the bullet. Be like me and Phil. Just rip it.
Just give low scores all the time, obviously, as people are aware at this point.
It was true. I mean, to be fair, I can be brutal when I want to be. I have been. And
it's always good to be. You've got to tell the truth always.
Yeah, well, I mean, it deserved a 1 out of 10. Right. Anyhow, cool. Right, well, I think we got all we need to with Expecto Patronum. Now, I'm going to be a bit fair here to you, Phil, due to the fact that I was looking through the list and see that you do have kind of all the worst stuff. So, I'm going to let you... We'll break the rules here. I'm going to let you take charge of Glacius. So you will be able to go first with this. However, before you do that, I need to set up the poll. So just say something fascinating about Expecto Patronum for the time being.
Okay. This is going to be a difficult question, but what challenge was better than the Expecto Patronum challenge? I could name you literally any other challenge and it would be better. The Spongify challenge, that was actually factually 100% true, better than the Expecto Patronum challenge. I don't even know why I guess they just had to put in something to, teach you Expecto Patronum. And they didn't want to make it a cutscene because then it would have been a bit naff at the end of the game when you actually get to use it, I suppose. But would have been nice if they put a bit more effort in. But oh well. At least, the architecture in this game is pretty nice. I mean, that's the one thing they usually get what am I saying?
Get right.
The one thing they usually do pretty well in most of the games is the architecture, which is good, thank God. I guess it's really just that earlier games would have been a bit of a struggle because of graphical limitations, but even then, not too bad. That's thank God they've got the buildings looking nice.
Also, I just want to add, I like Chip's comment with "not so tough now, are you, Aragog?" Aragog in the cage. Right. Also, John gave the previous one a 3 out of 10 for architecture. Is good though. Okay. Cool. I think that will do for that one. So I'll put up the poll, by the way, for Glacius, so go and vote. Vote. And I want to see more actual numbers in the chat, guys. Come on, I want to see some more numbers. Out of 10. Come on. Don't be afraid. We won't tear you apart, I promise.
See those zeros.
Yeah, we want to see zeros. We won't tear you apart, I promise. We'll be nice. Just put your scores.
Just tear me apart. This is just
well, that's how it
everyone
goes.
bully Phil stream.
Well, it's always how it goes.
I bring it on myself. It's my fault.
I give a good challenge a 1 out of 10. Everyone respects me, Right. Anyway, so I will hand it over to the world of Glacius. There we go. So, off you go, Phil.
Cool. Usefulness, I helpfully put in my notes. Need to check what's in the rest of the game. But I think there's a few more slides, right? Like there's one when you're like under the tree.
So to help you out with this then, obviously, as you haven't played this game in a long while, there's a slide in the Shrieking Shack bit. There's the slides in the exam, but that's later on, of course. And that is it.
Yeah. And there's a few salamanders that appear in the kind of
salamanders appear in the Shrieking Shack, and that is it again.
So in terms of usefulness, I mean, you've just heard how often stuff appears later on, so in that kind of sense, it's whatever. It's nice to, I guess, practice using the slides and practice fighting the salamanders, because they are a bit different than most other enemies. Usefulness is, as useful as it is. Challenge or difficulty. I find the salamanders interesting, but not too difficult, really. Maybe when I was younger, in terms of the whole, needing to extinguish stuff in the right order. Again, because it is a bit different. The slides can be quite tricky, though. I would say when I was younger, it was probably more difficult in terms of, not falling off. Whereas nowadays, it's still difficult, but in terms of, actually getting all of the shields and the cards and things. Because, there's a few bits where it's kind of you have to time it properly. And I think someone said really early on, or I can't remember, was it right at the beginning, about how it saves after you land, which is really annoying if you want to go and get other bits, because you kind of land almost on the thing. But anyway, so they can be kind of a challenge, which is good because it's nice to have a challenge, but it's not it's too challenging to slide. Just as a random example, so in Spyro 3, when you're sliding down the back of I think it's a big snake, that's really difficult, or even to just stay on, whereas at least this is easy to stay on, but it's still a bit of a challenge. is it fun or interesting? I think the slides are obviously absolutely amazing. Because, it's always fun to slide down something like that in a game. I don't find the rest of it that fun per se. Like all the salamander stuff, I don't find it necessarily super fun. But the slides really do make it. Like, I think if the level didn't have the slides, I wouldn't find it as fun as I do. And especially because some of the slides, I think they have branching paths, right? Like,
Well, they do, yeah.
Yeah, and like one way one way will have the shield, or one way will have like the card, or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I find that makes it fun. And in terms of how it looks and sounds, the fire and ice theme is obviously perfect for Glacius. It's another one where they really nail the theme and the spell together, which is good.
I was literally just deafened, sorry.
And the like, what am I saying? Yeah, like the fire around when you then put out the salamander, like the fire in the background then like turns blue after you put the fire out, which is really nice. I can't remember the music fully. I've said that it's okay. It would have been nice to have something more twinkly for like the ice bits to kind of differentiate it a bit more. But I think the ice slide music was a bit more upbeat, right, and a bit more fun. And the music during the salamanders is a bit more tense. I think. I can't remember exactly, but this is what I've written, so I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, basically, you're right about that. I mean, the ice sliding music is quite sort of fast paced, really, to go with the theme of what you're doing. And then the tense music is what you get for salamander stuff.
Yeah. And it's, in terms of the visuals again, it's strange because really this looks, it's like some massive empty hall with like these slides and random building bits in. So whether that's like believable in a big old castle, I don't know, but I think it looks quite nice. And a bit different, whereas everything else has kind of been in classrooms and all that kind of thing. Yeah, that's most of my thoughts. I think I liked this level, but I didn't absolutely love it.
To be fair,
but I know you have some strong positive feelings, but I'll let you tell them.
It's interesting you say that, and I know why you say it, of course, because we talked about it in the past. But I went and played this level again not too long ago. Because I was actually can't really say why I was doing it, because else I'd be giving away what everyone was seeing in the future. So yeah, well, I was doing it for a reason. Anyway,
for fun. You're doing it.
Yeah, totally doing it just for fun. Anyway, so yes, I went back to it recently to have a look at this level, and well, let's just say my opinions are a little bit more. I mean, they're still. They're good, but they've changed a bit from what they used to be. Let's put it that way. So anyway, I'll go through it one at a time. You'll understand when I get to it.
Yeah.
So, how useful was the challenge? Now, this is one that I actually used to always say in my head that this is an extremely useful challenge. However, in all honesty, it's actually less useful than the Lapifors and Draconifors challenge. Ironically enough, it sounds odd, but it is less useful because Glacius is only ever used on slides, which there are only, as we mentioned earlier, 3 of them throughout the rest of the game, which is a shame, by the way. And one of those is actually for the exam, so I'm not sure if I should even count that. And then also, it's only used for salamanders, for which there's hardly any of them throughout the rest of the game. So, Glacius is actually not used very much, which makes Harry's spell that's unique to him that he's learnt here kind of pointless. But then again, I suppose if you include Expecto Patronum for his other unique spell, it kind of balances it out a little bit. But either way, that's just my general opinion. So, is it a useful challenge? It teaches you how Glacius works. I'll give it that, but beyond that, not that useful throughout the rest of the game, to be honest. Is the challenge fun? Here's another thing that I went back and looked at. So, yeah, I enjoy the ice sliding parts, okay? They're really fun. They're awesome. They're pretty broken and buggy on modern day hardware, but that's just the fault of basically how hardware works and so on.
Yeah.
But either way, they're really fun. I enjoyed them a lot, and to be honest, they really make the level. If, like Phil said earlier, they didn't exist, this level probably might as well not exist. Because they really do make it fun. What would have been nice, actually, with the slides is if we could have actually sort of just gone down them without the ice, but actually with the water. I think that would have been quite fun. Or maybe even freeze them while we're going down them. That would have been interesting. So, yeah, there's that. I mean, anything else I can think of when it comes to this challenge being fun? Not particularly. I guess some of the secrets are interesting. Like, they're challenging, so I'll give them that. They're challenging, and that comes on to, I guess, the difficulty aspect of this challenge. But I'll include this in both fun and difficulty. So, yeah, the secrets that you have to get on some of the slides, like Phil was saying with the shields or the wizard cards, being right on the edges or up in the air at a certain time, it's a nice challenge, although that one shield at the end of the challenge, if you miss it, you have to replay the entire challenge again to get it, which is really annoying. So yeah, that one does kind of annoy me and is not really a fun challenge. It's just there to piss off players. But yeah, other than that, I guess, you know, I like the secrets being somewhat challenging, so yeah, it's kind of fun but at the same time challenging. The other thing as well, I guess, in regards to, I don't know where this would really fit, but I suppose probably in the difficulty of the challenge, I guess, is the whole thing where you have to branch out on the different paths with the slides. And this is quite clever because this basically makes the challenge replayable, so you could come back and replay it in a different way if you wanted to. But what's cool about this as well is it actually makes the player think when they're going down, right, which way should I go, which way has the more useful items. And usually they're quite good about this and put really important items on one side of the slide and somewhat important items on the other side. So great example of this is they have on one side cauldron cakes at one point, and on the other side they have pumpkin pasties. So it's sort of like, okay, which one is more helpful to me right now? Which one is more important to get? So I like that idea, and it's an interesting one. And to be honest, it can make the challenge a little bit difficult if you're actually trying to get all of those, you know, little secrets and things on the slides. The slides actually can be quite difficult to control, like on the corners in particular, especially if you're going quickly. So yeah, it can make it quite a difficult challenge at points for that. Otherwise, is the challenge that difficult? Not particularly. Salamanders are really easy to deal with, actually, but there you go. Visually, the challenge does a good job of making you feel like you're in a cave, in my opinion. That's just kind of how I feel when I'm in there. I don't know. I guess in some ways it fits with the theme of ice being in caves a lot of the time and so on. Yeah. I can go with that as the theme of it. So yeah, fair enough. Other than that, visually, I like the way that when you cast at certain points in the spell challenge with the flames. In fact, hang on, let me find it so I can really explain this properly. So I think at the bottom of this slide, yeah, here we go. So there are these windows, right, where you've got fire here, but then as soon as you put out the fires where the salamanders are, you can see that the flames go to blue. And slowly they will basically, the blue flames will get rid of the fiery flames. I think this is quite a cool visual effect because this kind of tells the player, yeah, you've killed the salamander now. You've killed the dangerous thing that's going to hurt you. So now you're all right. And actually, it's all tame and it's just nice. And I like the visual change as well. The blue flames, I'm a big fan of blue flames. But yeah, blue flames are awesome. So yeah, I like that visual aspect to it. I like the visual effect as well when you have the water changing into ice That looks really nice, actually. So again, here's another example of that. It's a good change. Obviously, I think if you looked at it in a modern day hardware perspective, that could look even better. But still, it looks good. Other visuals, it's cool to see all the like sort of glacial effects, I guess, around the slides and so on. That looks neat. That's pretty much about it, I think. Otherwise, visually for this challenge, audio wise for this challenge, it's an interesting one, actually, audio for this, because the audio, like we were saying earlier, on the slides is quite sort of actiony, I guess. It makes you feel energetic while you're going down the slide, which is a good thing because that's kind of what you're doing. With the salamanders, it's more tense because it's a more, well, I say this, they're quite easy to kill, but it should be a more difficult sort of tense moment of, oh, okay, I could die to these creatures, but obviously you won't in this game because it's really easy. But yeah, anyway, it fits with what should be the idea there. Otherwise, throughout this challenge, what I noticed is there's a lot of points where there's no audio, and it's just really going along the lines of more, I guess, making you feel in a very abandoned sort of tense area. That's kind of the impression I got with it. You really feel like you're in a sort of dark hole, effectively, in the middle of nowhere here in the castle, if this even is in the castle. And yeah, I don't know, you just feel abandoned, and I kind of like that, because it's the sort of thing you get in horror games, right? Like Penumbra is a great example of this, where you get points where there is no audio at all. You're just in dark, pitch blackness, and in reality, if you think about it, most of the time it would be like that. But you might get like these odd tiny sounds here and there, and that's kind of what you get in this challenge a little bit. So yeah, I like that idea with the audio. Anyway, these are my opinions on Glacius. So Phil,
Wow.
you have to score it.
Okay, I'm surprised. I'm shocked that your opinion has gone down. I don't know. Wow, was not prepared, but fair enough. You know, because I do always have the correct opinion. It's true.
Oh yeah.
Okay, my score is, everyone's gonna be mad, but I gave it a 6. I just, 6 because it's good, but if it didn't have the slides, I just don't think I would find it that fun.
True, but then again, you could say the same thing about Lapifors and Draconifors. You know, if you basically didn't have the rabbit or the dragon, then it wouldn't be very incredible, would it?
I think that one at least has a few more like puzzly bits and things, which this is pretty much just the salamanders and some imps and stuff.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from there. Yeah, fair enough. So
6.
6.
I obviously hate it. No, I like it, but yeah.
Well, fair enough. 6 is not too horrendous, I suppose. It's funny that you say you're surprised that I changed my opinions of this level quite a bit compared to the last time, because it's true, the last time I spoke to Phil about this, I did praise this level quite a bit. And it's definitely changed a fair bit. I'm still being somewhat praising about it, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things in it as well.
Anyway, so I think my score is going to be a 1. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I can't remember exactly what I told you in the past. My score definitely was for this. I think I said it was a 9.
I know what you said your score would have been, because I've got them all written down.
Oh right, what was it? Out of curiosity.
No, wait. What are you going to give it now?
Okay, what am I going to give it now? So I'm giving it a 7. I think that's pretty reasonable out of 10.
Yeah, I think 7's respectable. Do you want to know what you did give it?
Yeah, was it a 9?
It was 9, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so I think I might as well say the reason why I went downwards in my rating, really. So the reason I've given it a lower score now is most of the points I covered, but in particular, it's more the fact that really the challenge itself, like Phil kind of said, that, you know, without the slides, it's not really that interesting. But also, there's not a lot of challenge to it that makes it that worthwhile caring about a lot of the time. By that I mean as in, if you look at Draconifors and Lapifors challenge, you've got puzzles that are quite interesting. You've got lots of different kinds of variations of enemies that are quite difficult. This, not really. There's hardly anything that's really that impressive in this, and the one unique enemy type in this that's meant to be the all badass evil creature is so easy to kill. it's insane.
I feel like I remember there being another game. It might have been the fourth one, or it might have been a completely different game and not Harry Potter, that had salamanders in, where they were similar to this, but it was harder. It might have just been the fourth game, to be honest.
I think you've Goblet of Fire.
Maybe, because that had salamanders in, right?
Yep.
I don't remember if it was a game from when I was young or if it's one that I played like not recently, obviously, but like within the past few years. I can't remember. Were they harder in Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, they're definitely harder in Goblet of Fire. They're not that difficult, but they are harder. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was that. I don't know. I've definitely played something where they've been more difficult. Yeah.
No, it's not the PS2 Prisoner of Azkaban, by the way, for those saying that. He hasn't played that yet.
I haven't played that yet, but that's my next Harry Potter game I'm going to play. I think I'm going to play
Should do.
something else before that, because I need... Oh my god. My new video that have barely started making is going to be every single Shrek 2 game that exists.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot you're on this Shrek sort of spree right now.
I'm literally sick to death of it, but also it's amazing. So
what, sick of death of the video or just Shrek?
A bit of both. No, I can never hate Shrek. So I'm gonna play another game next that's a bit shorter, maybe even one I don't do a video for, but then I'm gonna do Prisoner of Azkaban PS2, and I'm very excited because I've heard a lot of good things.
It's a good game, mate. And considering I gave it my second best Harry Potter game of all time, you know you should expect good things.
Yeah.
You won't be let down, and if you are, then I guess you have no taste in Harry Potter games. But yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So we'll just quickly look at the scores. I'm sure that Phil's been looking at comments. Tell you what, Phil, do you want to look at the comments and read out any that look fascinating while I go through the polls?
Yeah, so the Deadly TJ says, I love the Shrek 2 PC game, Phil. And that's it. Am I looking at comments or scores or?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got. Oh, okay. Barbs and John both 5 out of 10. So actually, people didn't like it as much as I thought they would.
Yeah. I'm actually mind blown by that.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Oh, I take it back. I'm giving this 2 out of 10. No, Peter said 8 out of 10 for the slides. They just felt so wild the first time I played it. I agree. I think people love the slides, not maybe so much the rest of it. Was it? Oh my god! You know when you read a comment and then you lose it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the Deadly TJ said, "Funny how we're talking about Glacius when my uni house is freezing cold right now and I'm drinking cold beer." Literally, and I was like, "That's my uni house in second year, basically the Glacius challenge." Chip says 8 out of 10. Farhan says 10 out of 10. Oh yeah, Bob says likes the visuals of the challenge more than the gameplay, which yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then Roberto.
Yes.
Says, fun spell. The gliding bits are really cool, although a little difficult for me as a kid, and I hated missing a shield and then being unable to recover it because the game saves right after some gliding parts. That's why I read that bit. Yeah. But overall, a cool challenge.
Yeah. Very good.
But yeah.
Actually, speaking of that shield, while we're here in the gameplay point of view, you actually saw that there is a way to still be able to get that shield without having to do the whole challenge, and that is literally corner yourself on the slide and then kill yourself. It works. I've done it. Anyhow, voting wise, we got 56% on So Fun Man, 22% on It's Not Too Bad.
Oh, that means there's a...
Wait for it. 22% on I Hate Sliding.
Wow.
So actually, this poll has kind of blown my mind away a little bit, because I was,
all over the place.
I was expecting everyone to praise the living crap out of this challenge, if I'm honest. Yeah. I really was. I'm really surprised. I mean, to be fair, I think Phil was surprised that even I changed my mind. But
yeah, I think it's just the theme is so cool. It's just the challenge itself is actually just a bit of a not a letdown necessarily, but half of it is really good and half of it is just a bit boring.
I think it doesn't tap its full potential, really. Let's put it that way.
I agree.
And it feels a bit unfinished in places, if I'm honest. Especially with some of the textures, actually. I didn't mention that. Some of the textures, if you look around outside in the black bit, are very unfinished. But, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm actually surprised by you lot in the chat. You blown my mind away.
Yeah.
No,
I need to go and pee quickly, but leave everyone with one of my fun questions. What fire-based creature do you think would have been cool to have in the Glacius challenge?
Interesting.
I'll leave you with that, and I shall return.
Alright, chat. So he's off for a pee. I'm going to set up the next voting poll for you all. Which will be the Carpe Retractum exam we're on now. Exam, by the way, not the challenge, the exam. So we're moving on to the exam side of things now. So let's get that added in. Okay, good. I thought it might have done something a bit strange there, but no, it's okay. It's just the video having a bit of a moment. That's fine. Right. Carpe Retractum exam. Let's get that put in. Yeah, so out of curiosity, what fire creature do you guys think would be really cool to see in the challenge? Like Phil said, it'd be interesting to see what people say. If anyone says a troll on fire, I like it. There we are. Yeah. There we are. Okay, right. I have put up the next poll for the Carpe Retractum exam. Remember, this is the exam, not the challenge, the exam. So you guys can basically go and vote away on that now if you want already. In the meantime, I'm going to have a quick read. I'll just put this back on Glacius a bit more. Going to have a read of what people have said here. So 22% people don't like 4 kinetic energy. Fair enough. When I look at it now, it feels limited and not as if we're getting to the end of the challenge. Yeah. Fair enough. I agree, to be fair, TJ. I do agree. So yeah, 4 out of 10. Dragon. Yeah, fair enough. It would be great to fight one of Hermione's Draconifors dragons like a civil war. It'd be interesting, I guess, to have a dragon inside the Glacius challenge, I suppose. Yeah, to fight, that would be different, that's for sure. Also, Peter with Ramstein, or Ramstein, however you want to say it. Yeah, I know the band, the German band. Good band, by the way. Yeah, it does end rather abruptly. Yes, it does indeed. I need to refer to my copy of Fantastic Beasts somewhere to find them. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Right, anyway, I put up the next poll for the Carpe Retractum exam now. So, as Phil took the lead for both the incredible Expecto Patronum spell lesson and also Glacius challenge, I'm going to take the lead for Carpe Retractum's exam, then he will take the lead for Lapifors and Draconifors. Okay. Don't say I don't be nice to you, Phil. Alright, so the Carpe Retractum exam. Let's just get it in the right spot. There we go. I love the exams. Here we go. So, how useful is this challenge? It's completely pointless. Literally, in a nutshell, completely pointless. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird, doesn't it? You would have thought that the exam would be quite important, but it's not. See, if the exam had a benefit where you do something really challenging with the spell you've learnt here, and then you're immediately going to use all this new skill knowledge that you've done in the exam throughout the rest of the game, yeah, I'd say it's useful. But once you're done with the exam, that's it. That's the end. No more Carpe Retractum unless you're getting a secret from somewhere. That is it. You know, goodbye. So, is this challenge useful? Not at all. It is a complete waste of time for that. Is it a fun challenge? No. To be honest, I don't find this well, I can't even call it a challenge, can I really? Exam. Do I find this exam fun? No. No. It's got some interesting puzzles in it. I will give it that. It definitely has some interesting puzzles. And I will admit that I do think that this is more interesting than the Carpe Retractum challenge. It's got more interesting level design to it. So, yeah. Alright, it's not fun, but it's definitely got something more interesting to it overall. Is it a difficult challenge? Actually, yes. I would definitely say that the Carpe Retractum exam is difficult. It is quite a challenging exam to do. There is a lot of platforming sections in it where you actually have to just normally jump. That can be quite difficult because of camera angles. There's a lot of difficult bits with the actual like going through the different platforms with Carpe Retractum, and also, you know, with these spinny bits that you're seeing here, you can sometimes by accident cast Carpe Retractum on one of these pulley leather things, and then you actually end up whacking the platform that's spinning around, which kills you instantly, so that's good fun. So yeah, also the skeletons that you see in the Shrieking Shack are here in this one, and when you get quite a few of them at once, that can be quite challenging and a bit annoying. So yeah, it definitely has its challenge, this one. I would probably say this is actually probably the hardest challenge in the game. So yeah, it's fairly difficult. Visuals. It's interesting. I'm always very iffy about visuals on this one, because I don't really know what to say about the visuals. I suppose the one thing, again, I don't know if I can put this in visuals so much, but I guess it belongs here. It's more interesting that with this Carpe Retractum challenge, when Carpe Retractum is about a spell where you pull yourself up to things a lot of the time, or pull levers, of course, it makes more sense with this exam here that you're in an area where you're pulling yourself up to stuff a lot more, and that is what you are doing here, but it's in an area within the castle that makes more sense, i.e. the top of the castle, where there's going to be more things that you would want to pull yourself up towards, right? So I like that. So actually, I'll give them a 10 out of 10 for the visual point of that, if you can put it in visual. Other visuals, it's quite grey. That's pretty much about it. It looks grey. Audio. There isn't really any audio in this level, actually, come to think of it. Most of the level, there's hardly any audio at all regarding music and stuff. Like, you can hear certain points where you interact with the Carpe Retractum levers and things, where you get cool audio, like a bell ringing, like you heard a minute ago, for example, to indicate that you've opened something. But otherwise, there's not much audio in this level. It's pretty quiet. So yeah. That's my thoughts on the exam of Carpe Retractum. Take it away, Phil.
Nice. I probably won't say too much because you've said probably most of how it is, but yeah. Usefulness, I mean, it's the same with all the exams, really, you know. It's the end of the year, so and there's not much else afterwards, so not so useful. I do find it more difficult than the original lesson. There's a bit more time platforming than before, and there's skeletons. For me, it feels a bit more maybe like what the actual level could have been like, and you make a good point in terms of the like layout and the, you know, about it being going up, which makes a lot more sense for this challenge. Like this, yeah, this is probably in here the visuals or the presentation or whatever definitely matches the spell more. What else did I say? This one I didn't really write too much about. I think I just found this one like okay.
Mm.
I think I don't know. I don't really find it fun or interesting, but I do find it a bit harder and maybe a bit more like what the original challenge should have been.
Mm.
That's kind of it, really. And this is kind of more of a general thing for all the exams. I think the idea of them is really good. Like having extra levels for the spells is great.
Mm.
I just wish it was maybe something a bit bigger, like one big group challenge with all three of them, something like that, because it kind of just feels like a bit more of the level, which is great, but a bit not necessarily a wasted opportunity, but I think they could have done something slightly different. But yeah, this one's okay. This one I'd say is on a similar you know, similar level to the original challenge. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay, so score-wise then, people might be shocked by this, and to be honest, I'm a bit shocked actually. This will not be a repeating pattern, by the way. This is the only exam where I'm actually going to give it a higher score than the main challenge. So I gave Carpe Retractum's actual challenge a 5 or a 6, sorry, didn't I? Yeah, a 6 out of 10. This one, yeah, I'm actually giving it a 7, only going up by 1. But the reason it's going up by 1 is because it's more interesting than the original challenge, and it actually is challenging. So I will give it that. That's the main reason why it gets the extra tiny bit of score. But yeah, there you go.
I gave the original a 4, and I'm going to give this one a 5. Again, because it's a bit more challenging and a bit more maybe what the original level could have been like. But still not too high a score because I don't really care about it that much.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I mean, there's nothing to really care for here, particularly. Right, let's see what we got over here then. So, ooh, okay, I am a little surprised. This is the first level out of... Actually, is it the first one? No, it's not. But alright, fair enough. It's one of the challenges then that has not got anyone that directly hates it. Pretty mind blown by that. So it's got 78% yeah man, love it, 22% okay in the middle, and 0 on no. So
I thought maybe it would have been a bit more mix between the top and the middle, but
there's
people like it.
No hatred towards this exam, which I am actually surprised by. I am, because someone hated the Lapifors and Draconifors, challenge, but they don't hate this.
Yeah.
Strange creature. I don't understand you. Anyway, so cool. Let's see what some of the comments we got here. Whoa, Farron said he's giving it a 9 out of 10. Blimey. It's generous. Fair enough. Also, hi Fly, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. 7 out of 10. It really makes you feel like Spider-Man, IGN. I guess. It would surprise me if IGN did that, to be honest. We've got people talking about beer in the chat.
DJ says it reminds him of Home Base. The outside, I thought that was good. I don't know. I want to know what they actually look like.
A DJ also said, while I quite like the exams, they are pointless and time fillers, which is exactly what I said. Yeah. It's true, yeah. You're not wrong. You are not wrong at all, TJ. Barb says, is your home base spooky? Oh, blimey. Wait, what? The exams are all useless. I think I know where the rest of the exams are going from here on. uh, Okay, cool. I think that pretty much covers it, to be honest. Rip Ron. Yeah, I agree. Rip Ron. Sorry for repeating your words, Alex. I must have had too many beers. It's totally understandable. We all do it. And in all honesty, myself and Phil repeat each other's words quite a bit, actually. It's fine. We don't do it on purpose, I promise. It just happens. Happens to the best of us. Cool, right. Well, with all that home base and stuff out of the way, I guess we should move on to the next beautiful challenge. Are you ready to come up with an interesting fact or something for us, Phil? Off you go, mate. Off you go.
Well, here we go. Wait, Barb says, sorry, I realised home base is some UK slang. It's actually a shop.
Yes, it is.
Shop.
It is a shop.
I guess a hardware, garden, store. Other shops do exist, such as Wix or B&Q. I'm trying to think which of those three is the best. The Wix is a bit more buildery.
Yeah.
I haven't been to B&Q in years, but we had a home base near us in our last house. It's okay. Home base is, I don't know, some of the stuff in it is a bit cheap. But...
To be fair, I haven't been to any of these places in, well, about 4 years now. Beauty of COVID. Right.
It's like Home Depot, yeah. Not that I've been to Home Depot, but I think like that, yeah.
I really want to see what people vote for this next one.
Yeah.
And I'm really going to judge you all harshly with this next one, actually.
I'm not even sure I want to score it, to be honest. Like, I've got a score here, but...
That's good.
I don't... Anyway.
I'm not sure. This is not a good sign, mate.
Oh my god, Roberto's here.
Is he?
Yeah, don't worry, I've been relaying all of your thoughts and feelings. I told everyone how much you hated everything. Scored everything 0.
Actually, did you talk about his thoughts in regards to the Carpe exam?
So he's kind of given something for all the exams.
Together, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll read that one then, if he doesn't want to write it himself. We'll read it out at the end on Glacius. Okay, right. Well, in that case, I have put up the poll for the next exam, which is Lapifors and Draconifors exam. So vote away, and don't forget, guys, you can put your actual scores inside the chat. Don't forget to put your scores. We like scores, believe it or not. Yeah. And yeah, well, Phil, you're first, so enjoy.
Cool. I mean, usefulness again, kind of irrelevant, unless you want to, practice doing more Draconifors in terms of Buckbeak flying. Challenge or difficulty. So it has a nice big difficult long section where you have to fly the little dragon through moving walls and spinning floors and that kind of thing, and that was pretty difficult, partly because your dragon gets caught and everything, but I think it was kind of a bit difficult anyway because it was timed and you have to get to the end. The rabbit sections I think were a bit more difficult but still pretty straightforward. I'm trying to remember how fun I found it. I mean, there's less to it than the obviously original challenge. I don't think it's as good as that. And I think as fun as flying the dragon is, getting your wings caught all the time is annoying. And especially here because the sections are so much longer and tighter. And I've written, also, more rabbit, please. Maybe there wasn't as much rabbit as I wanted. And yeah, how it looks and sounds from what I remember is basically the same. Yeah, maybe watching the video looks pretty similar. There's maybe a bit more underground as the rabbit, but maybe that's it. I'm not sure. I think there was a bit underground anyway, but yeah, it's pretty similar to the original thing. So yeah, not much to say. Just I like that there's some bigger, longer sections of flying, but also they're kind of annoying and the floors do stick out more.
Is that all your points?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Hermione just got machine gunned by a Bunderman. So, I've never actually... I mean, I say I've never seen it. This is my bloody gameplay and I don't remember it. But anyway, yeah, I supposedly have never seen that happen before in my life. Cool. So, yeah, those are Phil's points. My points when it comes to this lovely exam. Just to get this off the back. This is easily the second worst exam. Can you guess what's the worst? Right. Anyhow, so how useful is this exam? Not at all. I'm not going to repeat what I said for the first one. It's just a waste of time. It's pointless, this exam. There you go. Is this fun? God, no. Absolutely not. I don't find this exam even remotely fun. I find it stressful. Very stressful. For all the wrong reasons, I might add. But I suppose the only bit I could say I find fun, if I could call it fun, is the rabbit bit at the beginning. And the only reason I guess I like it is because A, I quite like the rabbit, and B, the area where you jump like across the chasm sort of hole bit with the rabbit is actually pretty cool. Also nice and challenging. So yeah, there you go. That's the only bit I like. Or find fun. Is it a difficult challenge? Good God, is this a difficult challenge? So, the rabbit bit at the beginning, I guess you could say, has its fair share of challenge with the jumping bit. Yeah. But, boy oh boy are you in for a treat when you get to the dragon. So, the dragon bit, oh, this is stressful, man. This is too much stress for any normal human to have to endure. So what I said earlier about wings getting caught on quite literally every single object in existence, well, you're about to witness it here. Definitely. So here's the funny part. This is the one time in the game, in a challenge specifically, that there is actually a timer. Yeah, they brought the timer back. And normally I'd be quite happy about that. And I'd be like, yay, something difficult. But they brought it back in the worst possible area. Because here's the thing. I wouldn't mind it if all these areas where the dragon goes didn't constantly get the dragon stuck on everything. And here's the problem with this. All these areas have either got moving platform areas or they're tiny little hallways, tiny little gaps. So as a result, the wings get stuck on literally everything, meaning that this timer is your biggest bane of existence, because it's horrendous to have to try and deal with that. And the worst thing about this exam is if you don't get through the whole of this dragon bit and you fail that timer at a certain point, you have to go back through the entire section again. The entire thing. Not just a checkpoint system somewhere. The whole lot. And it's long. So yeah, I will admit that this, to be honest, pisses me off, this exam. Wow. It does piss me off a lot. So yeah, it's difficult, this last bit, but only because the mechanics are really badly designed. So there you go. Otherwise, if they were well designed, I'd probably quite like this bit. Visually, it looks the same pretty much as the previous Lapifors and Draconifors challenge. It's just a bit more moving. It moves more. There you go. That's about it. Otherwise, yeah, it looks pretty much the same. Which is no bad thing, by the way. It looks great. So I'm alright with that. Audio, for some reason, they decided to put peaceful music in this. I'll tell you what, it's anything but peaceful. So, I'm not sure the peaceful theme really fits with this one, actually. But there you go. So, yeah, the music is a bit debatable for this exam. The last thing I do want to touch on, because I didn't know where to put it in point view here, is they seem to have a lot of dragon in this challenge, right? Which is not terrible, I guess. Obviously, the controls make it terrible, but it's not a terrible thing because the dragon is quite a cool idea. However, there should have been way more rabbit because there's hardly any rabbit in it at all. There's like about a 1 minute section of rabbit practically, and that's it. And you would have thought that for an exam, in particular here with what they're going for, they're trying to make sure the player has really learned how to use these spells right over the course of the game, and that they really are going to go through some really difficult exams now to really put these spells into practice, which they've done here with the dragon absolutely perfectly in the wrong way. But they haven't done any of this really with the rabbit. It's almost like they kind of couldn't be bothered to do a lot with the rabbit. And
I was gonna say it was probably easier for them to just do bits with the dragon.
Yeah.
Make it difficult. You just make it narrower.
Yeah, pretty much. But also, I mean, it's a time thing probably, let's be honest. But, I mean, also you kind of have to look at it like this, which is the rabbit, a lot of people actually quite like. And usually when I talk to people about this game, they enjoy the rabbit more than they enjoy the dragon. So, kind of the wrong move, not doing much with the rabbit here. Just saying. Yeah. Also, I guess you could kind of say that throughout the rest of the actual game, the rabbit is not used very much either, to be honest. So, yeah. I suppose I probably should have seen it coming. But anyhow, yeah, that's my views on this really incredible exam.
I'm just watching in the video you struggling, getting caught on how to do everything.
This is not me. This is how bad the hitboxes are.
No, it's how bad you are. It has to be.
Oh yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, time to give it a score, Phil.
Yes.
Go on. Off you go.
I am giving it a 6, which you're probably going to say is generous.
6.
Yeah.
6. Way too generous.
I think I
nuts.
maybe still prefer this to the Carpe Retractum exam. I mean, I would probably have to go and replay them to be exactly sure. But anyway, what's your score?
Well, I mean, I'm debating your logic here, but fair enough. Yeah, so my score for this incredibly amazing exam, mainly because of how bad the controls are and the fact that it's so broken, I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Wow, you do hate it.
I do hate it. I really do, actually. I really do. Because it's broken. It's really broken. And if there's one thing I can't stand in games, it's broken things.
I don't know if I'd go as far as to say broken, but I'd say not well optimized. I don't know. Like it's not broken beyond belief, but they definitely messed up with the clipping for sure.
Don't be surprised by Phil's score, Alex. The level has plots.
That's so true. So true. It's
To be
the homology
fair,
one. I'm gonna give it a high score.
yeah. To be fair, I gave the previous challenge. Remember this, chat. I gave the previous challenge for Lapifors and Draconifors a 10.
You've been burnt by this. This is really.
I mean, yeah. It's like that little dragon just came along and literally set me on fire 50 times.
Yeah. I think I don't find it getting caught. Well, at least it seems I didn't find it getting as caught as frustrating as you did. Maybe.
I hate it. I can't stand it, mate. It's worse than the imp glitch. I can't stand it.
And this one's unfixable.
It is unfixable. Well, anyway, so those are our scores. I hope people agree. Maybe. Anyway, let's have a look. So, tell you what, Phil, we'll do it this way round again. If you have a look at the comments and see any scores or general comments, I will look at the poll.
Yes, so Farhan's given it 8 out of 10, Roberto 5, John 4. I think that's most of the ones up till now. I think what people really said. people talking about accents and slang and things.
Yeah, this level has a lot of that.
Okay, this is good. This is from TJ. The dragon is getting the same treatment as Batman did in the film Batman vs Superman. The rabbit is Superman. So I haven't seen it, but I can fully imagine.
I've seen it. I understand that.
Yeah. Roberto's saying he likes the idea of the exams, but it shows how lackluster. So how lackluster the challenges sometimes were, which the challenges were longer with sections of the exams. Yeah. I mean, I like that they have these exams.
Do you?
Because it's like, oh, I get to do a bit more. And I guess without making the original level like too long. But they probably could have made them a bit better. But yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised you like the exams. I would have rather just had more actual levels in the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Main levels.
I think I just like, I don't know, my favourite things in these games have always been like the spell lessons and challenges. So I think I like it just because it's a bit more. Yeah, Barb says, I have a love-hate relationship with this challenge. That's fair.
Farron just said you pronounced his name almost perfectly.
Oh. What did I even say?
What did you say?
I don't know.
I thought I was saying Farron's name correct all the time. I've been saying Farron. Is that wrong? Have I been saying your name wrong for months?
Did I say Farhan? I'm assuming it's not Farhan. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I've been saying his name wrong for all these months. That would be very upsetting, but oh well.
It's actually pronounced Steve.
Steve, yeah.
Honestly, I can't pronounce anyone's names half the time, so I'm glad I'm getting it right for once. Like I see a random username on a stream, and I'm like, how do I even start the process? I need spaces and capital letters.
So the easy option, if you want, is to just read the comment.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the name. Right, anyway, as for the poll and what we got here, we got a 78% hell yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I question this chat's logic sometimes, and I'm really questioning it now, if I'm honest. Anyway, 11% it's alright, and 11% no way.
There's a lot more loving it than I thought, but I think maybe people just like the dragon and the rabbit level more anyway.
They're looking at it probably from a visually fun point of view. I'm looking at it from a mechanic point of view. That's what I do. What can I say?
Someone says I pronounced his name correctly. Oh, I'm
yeah, well done. Well done. Lots of claps in the chat. Come on, everyone, give him a round of applause. He pronounced John's name right. Did someone just deliberately come and vote hell yeah just to make it 80% to kind of annoy me? I think they did.
Me logging in to all my different
yeah.
going hell yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dear. What have we got here? I'll just have a quick look at the chat before I put on the next one and get away from this exam as quickly as possible. Same Phil. I remember how happy I was when I first played this game and learned the exams you have to do. More challenges, puzzles, exploring, but they're so short. See, everyone seems to appreciate these exams. Meanwhile, I just wish there was more actual main levels in the game.
Yeah, it would have been better if they did a 4th spell challenge instead of exams, obviously.
Yeah, honestly. Actually, to be honest with you, I'd rather they made the end of the game a bit more complete.
But imagine if they spent the time making the game better rather than doing the exams. But anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could say the same about some of the stuff we're getting to later, like the Pixie challenge, for example. But
I don't understand. That's the best part of the game. Just you people wait.
Just you wait till we get to that. It's coming. Right, Glacius Exam. I'm going to put up the poll. You come up with some random facts about this terrible exam that's playing in front of me.
Actually, I had thought of something to say that's not about this. But
oh, yeah.
People were talking about British slang.
Mm.
Okay. So, apparently, depending on where you live in the country, you have a different like nickname for woodlice.
Do you?
So, yeah. So, actually, let me look at it. So, woodlice nicknames. So, we always called them. So, I'm from Kent. I don't know if it's just like a nickname my parents gave it to us because it sounded fun, or if it's like an actual thing. But we always used to call them pea bugs because they like roll up into a pea shape.
Right.
And then looking it up here, there's literally all over the world random nicknames for these bugs. You've got bibblebug, chiselhog, palmer worm, monkey pea, chuggy pea, roly poly. Like I didn't realize woodlice had such variety of names.
Roly poly.
Roly poly, because it like rolls up.
What?
I love that.
I could just imagine a scientist in a lab like looking at a woodlice going, "Here we have the roly poly."
That's the Latin name. So there's like so many names. Apparently, monkey peas is another Kentish name.
Monkey peas.
There's one here that says, I mean, this is Wikipedia, so take it with a massive
Grain of salt, yeah.
But a mountain of salt. One of those. Oh my god, what am I trying to say? One of those like rock salt lamp pieces of salt. There's apparently just in the town or village of Deal in Kent, they call it a Horton bug.
Pretty.
Black pigs is from Corkin Island. You've got so many of them are cheesy. So there's cheese log from Reading, cheesy bobs from Guildford, cheesy Lou from Suffolk. Like I didn't realise there's so many names. But that's...
Hang on, I have a really important question about that. Why are they calling it cheese?
I don't know. Maybe they like eating cheese or something.
Did they like eat these woodlice with cheese or something?
Maybe.
Are they in their burgers? Is this why the UK looks so unhealthy half the time?
We're just eating woodlice. What people said anything? I think Barb said always say roly poly. I like that as a name. There was actually I saw a good one. Armadillo bug. That makes sense.
Actually, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
A rosary bug in Turkey. They call it a rosary bug.
Right.
Wow. I assume because when it rolls up, it looks like a rosary bead. A bit of a stretch, but we'll go with it.
Oh man, I can't get over the cheese. Why not?
Right?
Why?
Making a din. This is something else as John just doing slang, as in like making a racket, like making a load of sound, making a load of noise. A din, right? Yeah, din is just a word meaning noise.
You know,
Like,
all this
noise.
slang stuff, right? It reminds me just how out of date I am with some of the slang that exists in the world. I mean, some of the like things in text messages where people put the most ridiculous things like TMM or something, and you go, what does that mean? You have to then go on Google and type in Urban Dictionary most of the time, I might add. What does TMM mean? Or something. Like, there's like 50 meanings for this. I'll just pick the best one. Anyway, I've forgotten what that actually means, just to point that out.
I literally never heard that, I don't think.
I've heard it once and I had it in a message once. I've long forgotten what it means. Anyway, we'll forget about TMM and move on. Right, so I put on the next poll for you lot to vote away for the Glacius Exam. Remember, this is the exam, not the challenge. The exam.
Lamb.
We need to make that very clear, because there's a very big reason for that. Okay, right, so Phil, you are... Wait, are you first?
No, it's you,
it's me, isn't it? Yeah, it's me. Right, I'm first. Oh boy, Glacius. Are people ready for what could be considered debatable? Okay. How are you supposed to challenge? It's pointless. Done. Right. How fun is the challenge? No. No, 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 no. It's not fun. I've said that about a lot of challenges in this game, but this one really takes it. I think other than possibly the previous one, this one certainly takes it big time. And I hate this with a massive passion direction. This is bad. You know, this is bad even for an exam. It's like taking an A level, but you've just got Fs constantly. It's bad, man. It's bad. Oh yeah, the US lot probably don't know what an A level is. But anyway, whatever. The point is, it's bad. It's not fun. No. Anyone that finds this challenge fun, I don't know how. I don't know how you find it fun. I think the only bit of this challenge I could even remotely consider fun is the 1 minute at most section of sliding down a slide. And I'd like to add that there's no challenge to it because there's nothing interesting on it either to make it fun to slide on like the original Glacius challenge, so it's pointless. It's literally pointless. So yeah, it's not fun. How difficult is the challenge? It's kind of difficult actually, to be fair. There's points where there's this annoying thing to this challenge where the whole challenge has got nothing to do with Glacius, just to make that plain and clear. The only bit that's really to do with Glacius is the beginning with the slide and some salamanders. That is it. But anyway, the point is this. Oh yeah, the colourful fire crabs. I forgot about that bug. The point is.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's a funky bug, that. The point is that the difficulty of this challenge comes from this section where you go down a lot and you get things like lots of fire crabs at once, lots of pixie things at once, lots of salamanders at once, and it can be a little bit challenging in points, but it's not horrendous, but it can be difficult, I suppose. Visually, the only visuals I kid you not, when I'm looking at my notes over here on the right, the only visuals I've got for this is the ice looks nice. That's it. That's all I wrote for visuals. So yeah, I guess I'll stick with it. The ice looks nice at the beginning of the slides. That's all I have for visuals. The rest is just pointless to me, I guess. Audio, there is none. Done. Right, Phil, take it away.
that sounds like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Actually, I found this challenge really useful. No. Okay. It's a bit difficult. There's a lot of enemies at once. And yeah, there's a lot more. I think I put involves more sliding. I don't know if I meant more as in, there's just more of it.
More sliding?
There's sliding. That's it. Okay. Was it fun? I said, kind of gets a bit boring and repetitive with all the creatures in the lift going down, because it does. And yeah, also, not much Glacius.
Literally.
The most fun bit was probably, besides the sliding, which is always fun, just all the treats at the end. It's kind of cute.
I forgot about that.
But besides the sliding and that random bit at the end, there's not a lot to it that's an exam or Glacius, really. It's just a whole bunch of enemies and then that's it, I guess. And yeah, looks-wise and sound-wise pretty similar. But, I mean, sound-wise, you said there wasn't very much.
No, there isn't any. There's no music. There's actually no music in the entire level. So yeah.
I'm sure we'll both agree that this is the worst exam.
Yeah. One thing I want to add before we give our scores, because I assume you finished all your points, haven't you?
Actually, I've got a whole essay. No, yeah.
All right. Well, last thing I want to add about this bit here, which Phil reminded me of, I forgot even existed, was actually two things. This bit that we're about to see here, this is the only exam where they don't put the teacher at the end. It's literally Harry looking at a wall going, wow! And that's it. Flitwick was obviously too much effort to put at the end of this one. So, Yeah, it's already looking good for this challenge, isn't it? But the treat bit at the end, actually, while it's cute as Phil puts it as, and kind of cool, I guess, it's completely pointless because by this point you should have already got way more than enough of these sweets to be able to get all the secret stuff you need. So why do you even bother in the end? It's completely worthless. I'd rather you just dumped a ton of cards on me, in all honesty. Or hell, even dump peeves on me. That's more of a treat, honestly. So,
I was going to say, yeah, all the treats at the end is the only bit that could be considered useful, but it comes so late in the game.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time. It's pointless. I'd rather have peeves, honestly, dumped on me, actually. It's more worthwhile. Yeah, so I guess score-wise, would you like to take a guess at what I would actually give this as a score?
Oh, it's not going to be high. Like 1?
Ooh, it's a bit low, but...
Oh, wait, what are you going to give it then?
Well, you were close. I gave it a 2.
Okay.
Close enough.
I'm going to give it a... Yeah, 2.
Yeah,
It's the only good bit is the sliding.
literally.
But it's not like it's the first time we've come across it, so...
I actually did write in my notes. I forgot to mention this. I wrote in my notes, exam, number 1 most important point, need more slides. Literally, that is my most important note of this exam. There's no slides. Which is like the most fun part of Glacius, by the way. Alright, well, I think we've given our scores. We both gave it a 2. I think that's pretty justified. Anyhow, let's have a look at the poll. So we got... Are people just doing this to troll me at this point? I think you are.
They love it, don't they? They love it.
71%. It's great. I don't know if I believe this to be true. This can't be right. 29%. It's not too awful. And God help me please, all in caps, by the way. 0%. I don't believe this. There we go. We got some people going on God help me please. That's better. You're all trolling. I see it. You're trolling. Right. So, some comments, I guess. Comments.
Mostly we were just talking about slang again.
Yeah. -1. That's what I like to see. Needs more slides out of 10.
Yep.
6 out of 10, John. There is something wrong with you. We need to talk. There is something wrong.
Give it a lot, like 5.5 or 6 out of 10.
That's too much.
For them, that's pretty low compared to the other scores. So.
It is, but it's still too much. 5.5. It's too high.
Let people like what they like.
I will, but I accept it, but it's still too high. I would totally accept it. It's alright, I won't judge you all too harshly. Maybe slightly deep down, but I will let you have your opinions, don't worry. His tiny legs got so tired on the way. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it. Oh, we're about to see Peeves, I think, in a minute in the video. That will cheer me up.
John likes the visuals.
My game would always glitch up at... Yeah, it does. The game does glitch like crazy in that bit where it goes up and down. There's points in it, by the way. It's a broken challenge again, I might add, where that platform can get stuck and it will never move.
Wow.
So then
it's almost like
you're
they want
screwed.
you to play it.
Basically, so then the only way to fix that is to literally quit the whole game and restart it. There is no other way to fix that unless you use ghost mode. But then if you use ghost mode, you can't pick up all the shields because some of them don't spawn in. So yeah, good design. Yeah, I think, to be honest, that gets across a lot of the points. I like what TJ said earlier, by the way, when I was talking about slang. Same, Alex, I always have a look up to what people actually mean, and it makes me feel like a right old fart. To be fair, TJ, just to make it clear, I don't feel like a right old fart. I just feel like I'm way behind in the times. But in some ways, I'm alright with that. Because actually, doesn't make me look like a complete idiot constantly walking around saying stupid slang things that just, to be honest, make no sense. I mean, you can blame most of this slang stuff from these, you know, pop stars and that say weird things. Weird things. Anyway, Ron and Hermione don't know Glacius until Peeves shows up. Yeah, you're not wrong. They do all of a sudden know these sort of spells, don't they? Funny that. Almost could be rushed. Right. Replay the whole game. No, not the whole game. Christ, no. No, it's replay the whole level. We had to replay the whole game just to complete that final exam. Christ, I think I would have probably never played the whole game again. Right, well, I think that is the end of the main spell challenges now. Congrats, everyone. We made it through. I know, difficult, isn't it, to accept this. So we're on to the bonus stuff now. The bonus stuff, by the way, for people that are wondering, are not actual spell challenges and things like that. They're more just general challenges, I guess. Except for the last one, which is sort of a real bonus challenge, but we'll get to that. So we're going in this order. We're going Buckbeak flying challenges, Pixie Encounter challenge, I'm counting it as a challenge, Monster Book of Monsters Encounter challenge as well. So we're going to do Buckbeak next. So I'm going to let Phil give you a random interesting fact for a minute.
I was going to start. I was like, I'm
he's ready.
Okay. What was your hardest, this is for everyone, what was your most difficult exam that you had to do, assuming you're either finished with school or okay, it could have been a uni exam or whatever. I'm trying to think what my hardest exam was. I had a lot of exams where you had to like really remember like everything. Kind of like, I think it was maybe like English, or I did like psychology for A level, and like there was a lot where you just had to like remember like big chunks and like the structure you were going to write and all the points you were going to write. No, I always found that quite hard because I'm a bit more of a sciencey person, so science was always easier because there's some remembering obviously, but some just like logic. But...
I remember, to be fair, my hardest exam, you'll probably like this is a fun story. When we were forced to learn Latin. By the way, I'm terrible with languages, I just want to make that very clear. English is about as far as I'm ever going to go. But yeah, we had to learn Latin, and first of all, Latin is a bit of a dead language, so it's kind of pointless learning most of it. But yeah, we had to learn that at primary school, believe it or not, and we were forced to take an exam on it.
Primary school?
Yeah, I know, talk about doing it a bit extremely early. But
I always kind of wanted to learn Latin, like, but not like learn it, but like do it at school. But we never did it, and there wasn't an option for A level. But Jesus, primary school.
Yeah, I know, it was young age to learn Latin. That's to be said. But anyway, so my experience of Latin for my actual grade was 3% in the exam. I got the lowest in the whole school for results in that exam, and actually it became such a big thing that for many years to come down the line, it was always advertised whenever any new year had to take a Latin exam. They always went, try and make sure that you don't get quite as low a mark as 3%. I'm like, oh, way to rub it in.
You won't do as bad as Alex did.
Literally, thanks for rubbing it in. I mean, Christ. You know what was great is when we came back the next year after doing those exams, the Latin teacher just came up to me and went, I've decided that maybe you should stop taking Latin. It's like, wow. That's fine. I'll stop. Yeah, done. Instead, I got more free time, so I was all for it. They literally didn't put me on any other lesson in that gap. They just went, yeah, have a free break. So yeah, I just sat around and just did random things.
Both John and Bahan found chemistry really hard. I did a chemistry degree, and I guess that was hard, but everyone's
Chemistry degree? Jeez.
Yeah, that's my undergrad.
Blimey. I mean, to be fair, I thought a game degree was difficult. I'm sure a chemistry degree is pretty challenging. Poor Alex. Thank you. At least someone feels some sympathy for me. Not like the school. They didn't feel any sympathy for me. To be fair, I could say all the Harry Potter spells, that some of them are Latin, by the way. So yeah. Right. But that wasn't in the exam, unfortunately, so yeah.
In your Latin exam.
Literally, I remember in the class when they went, "Give me a Latin word, Alex." I went, "Lumos." Does that count? I don't know. Do you accept that? I love it when that teacher just did not know what Harry Potter was at the time and just sort of went, "What's Lumos? What does that even mean?" I went, "You're a Latin teacher. Surely you should know this." Anyway, I had to explain it to her and say that it means lighting up things and it's from Harry Potter. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, now you all know of my failure of Latin. So, let's talk about the Buckbeak challenges. So, Phil, it is your turn to talk about Buckbeak. By the way, the poll is ready for you lot in the chat. Go.
So happy we get to talk about a good one. So what, you have a small lesson with Hagrid, and then you can just go and do it whenever you want. So I mean the lesson itself is useful for if you want to go back and do more Buckbeak, and then it's useful for doing the dragon a bit as well, because they have very similar controls. But anyway, the usefulness is not the important bit. I think it's just a really fun challenge, or it's just a fun activity to do in this game. So in terms of how fun and interesting, I really enjoyed it. I think it was like a good balance between flying in the previous two games, but also it's very chilled. So like the first game, you're just like going at a constant. I think you're going at a constant speed, just having to like.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And then the second game was just like, you didn't have to really do much at all.
You could do nothing.
This I think is good in between, because you still get some control in terms of left and right, and you like flap to go up like Flappy Bird. But it's a lot more chilled, which I like. It's a lot more chilled than the flying was in the first game, which is nice because it makes sense, because you're like, you're not on a magic broom that's just taking you off. It's like, yeah, I really like it. I think it's really good. And it can be difficult at times. The routes definitely get more difficult with the smaller rings and things to avoid. And like, it's challenging, but it's fair. Because it takes some skill to work out like the time, like when to time flapping your wings to like pull off the perfect maneuver and like avoid certain things, or like just get in the ring. And like I think when I replayed it recently, I didn't find it as hard as I did before, but I remember there was, when I was in 4th year of uni, we were trying to like get through all of them, like all the different Buckbeak challenges. And I remember at the end it was quite tricky actually. We each had a go to try and like get through it. It was a lot of fun. I really like flying as Buckbeak. And I really love the forest. Again, I'm a sucker for like forests, and I mean we already know about plants, so whatever. And the ring of bats is a nice touch, even if it does look a bit naff, because they didn't try and make them look realistic. They made them like this weird cartoony, like like cartoony with an outline. It doesn't look great, but I like that they did bats at all, to be honest. And the music is like lovely and whimsical. It's like adventurous but also calming. I really like Buckbeak flying.
Cool. He likes Buckbeak flying. I think he's going to give it a 10 out of 10. Right. So, how useful was the challenge? I guess the lesson that you get with Hagrid at the beginning is quite handy, because it does teach you everything you need to know about this mode if you come back and do the bonus stuff for it later on to 100% the game. So yeah, I guess it's somewhat useful in that regard. It gets across what you need to know, but of course you're never going to do any of this Buckbeak stuff outside of these challenges, which is a shame because there is an entire cutscene with Buckbeak flying literally when you rescue him and also when you're going up so serious. There is a whole flying bit with Buckbeak and you don't get to do any of it. So wasted opportunity there in my opinion. I am happy though when it's coming to the fun section right now that this is not on rails, thank Christ. The one thing I actually hate about Chamber of Secrets, and it is the only thing that I really hate about that game, is the Quidditch, because you have basically no control. It is literally just, you could move left and right, but you don't need to. It's completely unnecessary, and you have no free movement or control of anything. It's just, it makes that game suffer endlessly in the Quidditch department, whereas here they decided to go a bit more on the routes of you have a set trail that you have to follow and you are basically shown that trail and forced to go on it, but you can freely move around the screen more, so it's not quite as on rails, which is much nicer, by the way. So yeah, otherwise, free will. It's not quite as free as Philosopher's Stone, but it's getting there. But yeah, otherwise, I find these challenges actually quite fun. I think that they are fairly entertaining to do. I also like the fact that in regards to the difficulty bit here now, they do actually get more challenging as you go further in, which is nice. I really like this because they could have just made it the generic Chamber of Secrets, the same freaking thing again and again and again with no change, but they didn't. They decided to actually progressively make these more interesting as you get further through them, which is a great way of making players actually care about playing your game mode. So yes, good design there. I like it. Otherwise, is it that difficult? There are points in this where it can be a bit buggy, and sometimes Buckbeak will just automatically control himself and fly into some random log or something, which can make it rather challenging. Again, I think this is probably due to the fact that the game was rushed, but still, yeah, that can make it quite difficult, and you might see that in this section actually. I'm not certain if it was this one or the next one. Visuals. Visually, it looks very nice, this challenge, of course. It's a nice outdoor department challenge, which we don't get tons of. Obviously, we get greenhouses and that, but we don't get anything that's directly outdoors, really, other than the later on stuff. But, yeah, so it looks nice, and it fits with a nice sort of open area of a mixture of forest and actually some stonework, which is nice, and the thing that we also have here, which is cool, is a really nice looking waterfall bit. Really nice. Really like it. So yeah, nice area for this. So good on the visuals there. The other thing I like about the visuals, even though I know Phil hates the bats, and to be fair, I do semi-hate the bats because they do look quite pathetic. The idea that they had here, where you've got all the different colours being the houses of Hogwarts being the colours, except for the white ones being the beginning one for Buckbeak, is really quite clever actually. So you've got the beginning one where you've got obviously Buckbeak's colour, that's just his general look and it's there for the tutorial. But then you move on through all the different colours and you've got like Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw and Slytherin, which is awesome. I like the way that they've done this. It kind of makes you realise that the houses are actually a thing in this game, which in all honesty, as there's no like house point thing at all in this game, literally at all.
I forgot about there not being any.
Yeah. It's actually quite nice that they have something here at least to make you realise that there are houses in this. So yeah, I like this. It also varies up the colour of these rings a bit, which is good. So nice design there. I like it. I just wish the bats looked a bit more good. Let's put it that way. Audio wise, it's a mixture of kind of nice, peaceful, but also actiony music. So good stuff. It fits with what you're doing. So I like it. Yeah, and that really, I think, sums up Buckbeak Flying. So, Phil, what's your score?
I'm going to give it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
A big 8 out of 10.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all.
What about you?
Well, now everyone's going to be on the edge of their seats. Everyone's like, is he going to give it a 10? No, I'm not giving it a 10. But I am actually going to give it a 9. So this has actually changed, I believe, from what my previous score when I talked to you before was.
Yeah.
Because
I can't remember. Not by a lot, I don't think.
No.
I can check if you want.
Yeah, go on, have a look. See what it is quick. I would like to know.
I think this is right. I don't know if all the scores are exactly right, but I've put here 8.
8, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I was tempted now to give it a 9, but I think they could have taken a little bit further and done something else just to make it a bit more interesting or special. Like, I love it, but it is limited in what it gives.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. I do agree. But yeah, I mainly gave it a 9 because I actually find it quite fun. I think the big thing for me with this challenge is I don't find this game that incredible, if I'm perfectly honest. I find it a very weak game in the Harry Potter series. So, like, this bit actually felt kind of entertaining to me. So that's probably why I'm giving it such a high score, because it's actually something I enjoy in this game, which is remarkable to say, as I don't really feel that way about a lot of bits in this. What can I say? It was a bit of a letdown compared to the other two. Sorry. But yeah. No, I think
the best flying, I think, in the first 3, for me.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that...
You prefer the flying in the first game?
Yeah, I prefer the fact that I have full free movement and control. I know it's a bit clunky, the controls, but at the same time...
I like this because it's not as stressful.
See, everyone says something about stress there, but once you nail it and you really know how to control in that first game, it's fine. Just get good, really, is the saying, isn't it? Yeah, no, I think that, to be honest, I quite like the challenge as well, Philosopher's Stone. I like the fact it's difficult, but there you go. Yeah, so those are our scores. So let's see what the poll rating is. I'm sure it's going to be a troll. Maybe not. 50% love it, 50% somewhat alright, 0% bad man.
Hey, I like that. I like that rating. Yeah, that's
good.
It's
actually good, yeah.
Yeah, I think some people just don't like flying challenges that much anyway, which is, I think, fair enough.
But flying is a way of life. Yeah, no, that's cool. I think that's a reasonable selection on the poll, actually. Not bad.
Yeah.
Who looks better, PC Prisoner of Azkaban Hagrid or PS1 Philosopher's Stone Hagrid? I mean, there's no competition. We know it's the PS1 version. Right, that's that out of the way.
Have you played Escape from PS1 Hagrid yet?
Everyone really wants me to play that. I'm not joking. Everyone wants me to play.
You should do it. I did it the other week. It's alright.
I will look at
I
it.
won't spoil it, but I think you should play it as a not just on like it'll be a laugh, but also not because it's necessarily good, obviously. But I think you should play it. But I don't want to spoil why.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I will have a look at it.
I guess if you've watched any videos about it, then it's...
I haven't watched really any particular videos of it. All I have seen is just how poor the AI is in it, but that was about it.
Oh, atrocious, yeah.
And that made me sort of not want to look at it, if I'm honest. But yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I might look at it at some point, just because everyone seems to want me to play it. Like, at the moment, my life has become a toss-up of Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Escape PS1 Hagrid for Harry Potter games to play.
At least Escape PS1 Hagrid will only take away like an hour of your life.
I think there's a bit more to it than that. At least Escape PS1 Hagrid is entertaining and somewhat decent. Right. Looking at the other comments, I say an 8 out of 10. I like the outdoor theme, not too challenging. Yeah. Also, when you smack into the tree, the sound is hilarious. Yeah, literally, Buckbeak snaps his neck, but It's fine. I always wondered how they made that sound. They snapped someone's neck, Barbs. That's how they did it. Literally. Actually, no, they probably just... they went back to Philosopher's Stone on PC and went, you know that sound we made when we got that actor to snap his neck to do the Quill changing the Voldemort scene? Can we just reuse that here? Perfect. Anyway. Oh, no, that's a preview of the next bit. We can't have that. Is that a fan game?
We've got the 3 best challenges at last.
Anything else? For me, this is a 10 out of 10 for Oh, ow. Okay. For the feeling it gives you while you fly.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I think the feeling is pretty. I'm not going to say spot on, but
you can't say that. You gave it an 8. That's right.
It's pretty good.
I'll rate 6 out of 10. Fair enough, Barbs. Oh, Vicky's here as well. Hi, Vicky. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, we've been talking about challenges. I didn't notice you popped in. Yeah, hi. Welcome to the somewhat near the end of it of the stream. Anything else? Anything else? Oh, by the way, I want everyone to just do this for the laugh. Caleb joined the stream and said, Goblet of Fire is so underrated, don't at me. I want everyone to at him. And just let him know that Goblet of Fire is a bad game. Oh, I love trolling. Right, anyway, let's end that poll. And we'll let Phil give you an interesting fact while I put on the next poll. Go on, Phil. What's your interesting fact for fact 59 or something at this point?
I'm trying to think of something to witter on about. I can't really think of anything. I'm trying to think. Are there any? What other flying creatures are there in Harry Potter that you could feasibly ride on? What do they ride on? The ones that you can only see if you've seen death. What are they called?
Hang on. Oh god. Centaurs or something like that?
No, they're like. I can't remember. But anyway, those look not fun to ride.
It's Thestrals. Yeah, Thestrals. Yeah. That's it.
Bit bony and uncomfortable. Where's the Thestral challenge? I don't even know what that would look like. You have to watch someone die in the game first. I mean, I guess we've watched you accidentally make Ron fall off platforms enough, so that counts. Barb says Caleb is obviously under the Imperious curse. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was obvious from the get-go. By the way, Caleb, don't take it as though we're actually saying that you can't have an opinion. You can have an opinion. We're just having fun.
It's just widely regarded an unpopular opinion, so...
Well, definitely. Right. It's time to move on to the Pixie Encounter challenge. And I get to start this.
Lucky you.
Oh, good. It's literally, I can already hear its audio.
I'm just going to leave. There's not really much point in staying anymore.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Oh my god, there's that face. Look at
I'm not there yet, but I'm excited. Oh, there it is.
Look at it. It's just no life. I can't even rate this thing. Right, how useful is this? 0 use. 0. There is no use to this. Unless you want to count being able to cast at pixies later on in the game, but like, does that even matter? No. No. And with the amount they put you through in this, I'm not sure it's even worth caring enough. So is it useful? No. Is it fun? Christ, no. I know I said the exams were bad, but this is a whole nother level of bad. This is filler to the extreme. And in a way that's just not even slightly fun. So yeah, I have zero fun in this. There's nothing I can even remotely say that's fun about this. So there isn't. How difficult is this? Not difficult. It's literally, you could stand still probably for most of it and just push the left mouse button, and that's about it. It literally is so simple, this. Visuals. I mean, I like the forest, and I guess the well looks cool. That's about it. There's nothing else to say. I mean, the gate that locks you in, I guess, looks quite interesting.
The gate that locks you in.
What more do you want me to say? The soil looks brown. Audio.
Not relevant.
I mean, it's there. I don't really notice it, if I'm honest, but it's there. And yeah, I think we've hit the end of the road really with this one. I'm done.
Okay, so this was actually my favourite challenge in the trilogy. No. Okay. Is it useful? Technically, I guess it's good practice against enemies, but no. Challenge or difficulty, they're pixies. Full stop. Fun or interesting? The fact you have to do it 5 times to earn a whole bunch of cards. Just let me leave. I don't care. It's just so repetitive and lazy. Why did they bother? No. Presentation. Her face doesn't move. She's made of wood. The end. There's this. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to give a score yet, but this is hands down the single worst challenge in the whole of the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm. Is that everything?
I'm trying to think if there's any more hate I have to get out.
Is there any more hate?
Presentation-wise, why is the well lit up so much more? Also, the lighting in this, they're all really lit up really white for some reason. Don't understand. Forest, this is the one time I don't care about plants. Sorry, not interested. All the cards just sitting there. I don't know. I'm literally just watching the video, picking out things now. Let's just stop.
The frog is brown and a 10 out of 10 on looks. Right. So this is the first time in history in this whole series that I am actually going to be giving something 0. This has literally got 0 out of 10. That's how bad it is.
This, for me, is also 0 out of 10.
There
like,
we go.
This actively makes the game worse. The game would be infinitely better if this wasn't in it.
Actually, you want my ultimate opinion for this? I would have rather that this dev time that was put into this very, very bad pointless challenge was put into making even more secrets in the game, or an actual level that's more interesting. That I don't care. Anything else would have been better. Even more time modelling the pumpkins outside Hagrid's hut would have been more worthwhile than this level, to be honest.
How is the video still going?
That's how long this is. It's so long. It's just so long. It's just filler. It's like so much filler.
It would have been just about okay.
It's finally over.
If you got to do it once and get like 1 card, then it's kind of like whatever. But it just carries on.
It does. I mean, it's just boring. Honestly, I will be amazed if anyone says that this is fun. I really will.
It just makes it actively is worse for existing than not existing.
Yeah, literally, it
also,
is.
Why are there so many chocolate frogs?
Because I didn't pick any up. That's how easy it is. I didn't bother picking a single one up. Look, every time that you win, right, you get a chocolate frog spawn, and because we didn't get hit like at all, except for the AI at some points, I just never bothered healing. So I just left them all. But also, the chocolate frogs in this game, as soon as you pick up one, it gives you full health. So what's like? Did they expect someone to get hit every 5 seconds or something? I just don't get it.
Also, they should have made the chocolate frogs jump in this game. That was such a good thing in the last game. It's so fun.
Yes, it made it more challenging to actually pick them up. Whereas in this one, they just sit at you and sort of look like a fish, actually. It's just pointless. Anyhow, so the polls in this, oh, thank Christ, my faith is fully restored in the chat. Only 14% said love this beast. There's still a lot, but I feel better at least. 43% said well then, and 43% said but why. Oh, it's true, but why? So looking at the comments, right, what we got? Her face isn't moving, pretty much.
Her face is moving out of 10.
This mission really annoyed me. I think it annoys everyone. I like the location, fair enough, TJ. I can somewhat respect that, to be honest. I was surprised that you need to do this to complete the game. I was not surprised. It was a good way to pad it out for that lovely, you know, $30 or whatever dollar price tag. I'll rate it Phil a filler out of 10. That's a good one. I like that. I will rate it Pixie Pants out of 10. We've got an odd one here. How do you get Goblet of Fire to run in 4K? There will be a tutorial for that, actually. By the way, I'm not even joking about this. That is actually happening. I've mentioned it in a previous streams recently. That is finally coming at some point soon. It's in development, so keep an eye out. It's coming. It will explain it, and believe me, it's a horrible game to sort out on PC. By far the worst. Right. Useless out of 10.
Didn't rate this one? Strange.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Useless out of 10. Lol, it's just so random. I agree. I don't like it. 0 out of 10. The trees look good. I wish the chocolate frogs actually had some mobility. Yep, 0 out of 10. Laughing faces, audio. Rich's Emperor. Yep, pretty much. That's all you hear for audio, actually, come to think of it. A bucket falling over in Rich's Emperor. 4, like, gazillion, whatever, out of 10 there. This game is like a reverse Suicide Squad. I love it as a whole, but looking at little bits individually makes it fall apart. Yeah, it really does, TJ.
Like, yeah, the whole game as a whole, I'm like, that was good, right? And then you look at everything individually and like,
you just think, good God, what happened? This gets old so fast. It does. Abracadabra, this mission, yes. Infinity out of 10. Thumbs up. Yep. Yep. And then you had to repeat it with the books. Well, speaking of books, we're about to be moving on to books. Don't you worry. Right. Let me end the poll. Phil, you come up with a fantastic thing for the gap, as you do. Off you go.
Think of anything in any other game that was worse than that. I struggle to think of anything worse than that in any game ever. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, what games have I? Let me look at what games I've played because I don't even remember.
Actually, no, I do have something that's worse than that. It's Vanguard Zombies. It's worse than that. It's bad. It's so bad I don't even play it. So there you go. That.
Like, I'm trying to think of any of the Fellowship of the Ring.
No, that's better than the Pixie Encounter.
That is better than
the whole game is better than the Pixie Encounter. Nothing about Fellowship is worse than the Pixie Encounter, and that's a fact. You can't say it is. Do you even care? It's awesome.
I think everyone's going to be going for It's Awesome.
Cool. I use debug mode. There we go. I think that sorts that one out quite well. Alright, the new poll is up for the Monster Book of Monster Encounter now. So, it's your turn, Phil, isn't it? In order to... Yeah, it is, to rate this one first. So, off you go. Enjoy.
Okay. So, if the Pixie Challenge was slightly useful in that you got to practice against pixies, this is the same, but books come up even less often, so it's technically even less useful. Challenge or difficulty... It's a little bit more challenging than the Pixie one because the books take they're kind of like a multi-stage enemy, right? Like you have to hit them, and then they come towards you, and then you get rid of them.
Her face. Sorry.
I've changed my mind. The most difficult bit is having to watch that without.
It's about laughing.
Without just quickly. But I love where she's like, oh. Yes, I've got to go off. I'm busy. Even the voice actors knew that this was going to be bad. Fun or interesting? Again, absolutely not. Slightly a bit more difficult. Still just as annoying. Same wooden prefect. That's kind of it. At least Hogwarts inside looks nicer than outside. That's it.
What about the audio, Phil?
Sorry, what?
What about the audio?
I can't remember, but I'm sure it was just as poor as the last one.
Okay. Well, I'm not.
What about it?
I'm not sure what people expected me to honestly say for this, to be honest. But here we go. How useful is it? It's completely pointless. That's it. They're pointless. Right. How fun is it? It's more fun than the Pixie Encounter. I prefer watching pages squirm compared to just a pixie spinning in circles doing nothing. So, yeah, it's slightly more fun because of that, but not by much. By like 0.1. Is it difficult? No. It's literally, I am standing in this gameplay in the same spot, not moving.
Yeah, as far back as possible.
Yeah, I'm not even moving. I think the reason I did that in this gameplay is just to prove how many chocolate frogs and cards spawn, to be honest. Because else the AI walk up and start picking them up. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's not difficult. I mean, maybe for the AI it is, but not for an actual player. Visuals. I like the bars. The bars look really nice, actually. Yeah. Although the bars that block you in are just completely unnecessary. But yeah, they look nice. The torches look quite nice. And I guess the bookcases look quite funky. That's about it for visuals. Unless I could say the Monster Book of Monsters looks pretty cool. More detailed, in my opinion, than the Pixies. Audio. It's tense, man. Tense music for a tense situation. As you can see in the gameplay, I am struggling thoroughly with what's going on. Yeah, and I think there's nothing else to say. So,
wow.
Yeah. What do you give it as a score, Phil?
I gave this a 1 because I was feeling very generous.
1.
1. I know it's really pushing the boat out. It's a lot of points.
Blimey. Well, might not shock anyone. I've given it a 0.
I'm trying to think what my actual lowest score was for anything else in this whole 3-part series. I think
Pixie.
I scored a 3. Oh, besides the 0, like the next lowest one was 3. So this is still like pretty below.
Well, anyway, I can safely say that I've successfully given 2 challenges back-to-back 0. It's pretty bad. Okay, so let's take a look at the polls, shall we? Not a single person has said it's awesome. Would you like to know how I exactly worded this poll?
Go on.
Do you even care? The Monster Book of Monster counter. I mean, the answer is no, I think, for most people. But anyway, it's awesome. 0%. Cool. 50% for some reason. I use debug mode. By the way, just for everyone's information, I actually do use debug mode in that bit just to glitch out Flitwick's cutscene for Glacius. It's funny because you get some great quotes. You can like do the bit where you go into the classroom and then you just got like Ron going in going like, we're outnumbered with all the students, and then like Harry walking up to Flitwick going, everyone cast Rick to Zebra. Kill the teacher. So yeah, it's quite funny. Anyway, yeah, debug mode 44%. I'm glad people use debug mode. Nice one, guys. Right, so what have we got here? What have we got? God, that face. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I love Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on PS2. Yeah, good game. I agree. Not an unpopular opinion. I don't think anyone's going to say that's an unpopular opinion. Is anyone playing the game? No. Just gameplay in the background. No one's playing it. It was played in the past. So do we, Chips. God, that face. Would you ever rank... Would you ever rank the PS2 challenges? Well... Phil, I can't speak for, but for myself... you'll see.
Wow.
Anyway. There you go. That's all I say.
I haven't played them all yet, so I've only played the second one on PS2 so far. But
I like my cryptic ways of things. There's my cryptic ways. I'll just leave it on. You'll see. Alright, what would you use debug mode for? To get out of the challenge. To get out of it. That's what you use it for. Also to lock down Hogwarts, which I did in my stream of this, by the way. If you want to see the entirety of Hogwarts locked down, including a door I didn't even know could lock, which is the one for the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, then watch that. I'll lock down the entire school with debug mode. Right. I think it makes more sense to defeat the Monster Book of Monsters again rather than a random stash of pixies. Yeah, I can agree with that. Oh, good. Not just me then. No, definitely not. Doesn't matter. I agree with Phil. 1 out of 10. Why is everyone giving it a 1? Should be a 0.
I'm in a generous mood today, you know.
They are. That deserves a 0. Slightly better than the Pixies. I mean, it is slightly better than the Pixies. Doesn't deserve a 1 though in my eyes, but there you go.
1 out of 10. Sorry.
Say 1 out of 10. Perfect. Rose of chocolate frogs. Yeah, that gives it a 1 out of 10, I guess.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. Alright, so that's the end of the Monster Book of Monsters. We are now moving on to our final challenge, and I'm going to set up the poll for this while Phil just gives you a random fact again. Off you go, Phil.
I mean, the last challenge gave us so much to go off.
There you go. I'll put the video on for you so it helps you.
Not a fact, more just me commenting on random stuff. But I like that they used a lot of the same pictures on the portraits here as like in the cards in the previous ones. Like there's that one of the woman in blue with the blue background holding that like potion vial, which is the first card you get in the second game. I really want to like print some of those cards, like either as cards and just like put them up or something. They're just like the artwork on some of them is so nice.
It is good, yeah.
That one's one of my favourite ones. There's the one with the woman holding the fish. There's the kind of like Greek god style one. I think there's some Harry Wikipedia page. I can't remember what it's called, where it's got them all, and a lot of them there's actually quite a high res versions of the images.
Does it? You need to find this.
Yeah.
Find it.
I don't think I can post in the chat, but I can send it to you, and you can send it if you want.
Yeah, send it to me on Discord, and then I'll put it in the. I'll put it in there.
Is it this one? Where is it? Maybe it's not that because they're not loading. Chocolate. Maybe it's chocolate. Because there's a page with chocolate frog cards and famous witches and wizard cards. Because one of them is like what they call in the game, but the pictures aren't in that one. They're in the other one.
Great.
That's it. Look, there's not all of these. These are like. Oh wait, is it? Come on. The website's being a bit dodgy. I've definitely been able to get like proper.
You've fantasized about taking a Harry Potter map and making it a COD Zombies map, TJ. I like it. If you're a modder, TJ, join my Discord. We like modders. In fact, we have a little modding section for COD Zombie stuff, and we like to encourage the mod community to come together and actually, sort of advertise their mods, make mods with other modders and so on. Plus, it's cool stuff. So yeah, why not? If you want to join the Discord, by the way, there is actually a pinned comment. I didn't mention this at all throughout the whole stream. If you want to join my Discord, there is actually a pinned comment for that in the chat. So yeah, if you're interested, then do feel free to join via that. But yeah, modders are all welcome inside my Discord, and I cater to all kinds of modders. So we got quite a few different mods and things around. Star Wars mods, Harry Potter mods, COD mods, even Simpsons Hit and Run we got now. So yeah. We got all sorts of stuff in there, and let's put it this way, I'm very happy to have modders in there, mainly because of me being a game design sort of person myself, and that it's nice to see other people with that sort of passion. So yeah, there you go. But if you do take the Harry Potter maps, by the way, and make them into COD Zombie maps, please do tell me. I would love to play those. I know there's one on Call of Duty World at War that I played yonks ago, which was the Chamber of Secrets PS2 map for Hogwarts. Not PS2, sorry, the PC even map for Hogwarts. That basically was a whole COD Zombies map. It was actually a really solid map. It's a lot of fun, that. Might have to stream that at some point. That was loads of fun. Back when I used to play World at War Zombies. Oh, it's been a while.
There aren't a high-res version of all the cards, but there's a high-res version of some of the cards.
Have they got the Prisoner of Azkaban ones there as well?
I don't think so. Not the same anyway.
No, okay.
I swear there was bigger versions. I don't know. I don't think I'm finding the right thing.
It's alright, you've got plenty of time soon to find it, and if you do find it, I'll just post it either in the description of the live stream, or I'll post it in the Discord. One of the two, so then at least we have it, which would be kind of cool anyway, because I would like to print out all the cards. That'd be nice.
I think there's big ones of some of them, but not all of them, and I don't know if there's any logic behind which ones are big or not. I'll
It's alright.
For some reason, there's a big version of his card, but
that'll be because of Chamber of Secrets, because of the Gold Wizard Card Challenge. That'll be why.
Like, there's one silver one that's big. I don't know. It's like a weird selection. I'll send this link. This is some big ones on, not all of them, but it's worth a.
Right. Okay. That's something for the Discord modders.
Like the one with the woman holding the fish is big for some reason. It's like, is it a PNG? Yeah, it's like 1000 by 1000 pixels with a transparent background.
Jeez, that is big. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, right. I don't know where they got the pictures from.
They probably got it from this Prisoner of Azkaban, like you can see on the screen, like that.
Yeah, probably.
They probably went in the game files, I'm guessing, where this sort of image would actually be quite big, and got it from there. That would make sense. Alright, cool.
I don't even know where you would get stuff like this printed and cut, because it would be nice to get them cut in the actual what's it called? Pentagon? Yeah.
Yeah. That is cool. No, I like this. I like this idea.
Yeah. Anyway, we've still got one challenge to talk about.
We do indeed.
How long have we been distracted? I feel like I've been looking up these wizard cards for like 10 minutes or something, but I don't think it's been that long.
No, it's been about 5 minutes at most. It's fine.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, cool. Right, so let me just sort that out. And the video's ended on me. Thanks, video. Okay, right. We will now be moving on to the final challenge. Wow. The final one. However, we're going to do something a little bit different again.
Again?
What do I mean by this? So, as Phil is the guest, he is going to take the lead on this one to finish it off. And we're also going to be not just focusing on all the main points for this challenge, but we're actually going to add in the cards outside of this challenge that you collect throughout the game via secrets and that. So we're going to talk a little bit about them as well. But that will be on its own separate point after you do the main points for the actual challenge itself. Got it, Phil?
Sure.
Cool. Don't worry, you can make up anything.
I'll talk about the bean bonus room.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Wizard
cool.
Card challenge thing. I can't even say it.
Cool.
Yes, useful. Wait, are we starting? Am I done?
We are starting, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Is it useful? I feel like it's right at the end. Is it right at the end of the game?
Yeah, once you've collected all the cards, basically.
Yeah. So, like, useful, not really relevant, to be honest, because it's the opposite, if anything. Is it that challenging or difficult? No. I would have thought for the last thing, they would have added a bit more difficulty. Like, at least timed it or something. And I don't think any of the other bean bonus rooms are timed either, are they? They're just like, are they?
What, this bit, is it timed? No.
No, but like,
No.
as in, not when you're doing it right at the end, but when you're doing it like after each level.
Oh, yeah, it is,
That's timed.
Yeah.
But this bit isn't.
No.
I feel like this might as well have been timed as well, to be honest. I get it if it's like a last hurrah, like going and exploring and just getting everything. It would make sense, but it's certainly not challenging. Fun or interesting? Kind of a bit boring, to be honest. It could do with some more twisty passages or secrets. Like it's pretty straightforward. Like, you know, you just spongify on bits and like there's a few side corridors, but that's kind of it. Which is fine. I don't think it necessarily has to be super, you know, twisty, but I think it would be nicer if it was twisty. I think at the end all the beans randomly spurt out, which is kind of fun. And I really like how it looks. It's very bright and textured. The music is nice and whimsical. Like the second game's PC one, which is nice. And the lighting is quite nice, like as I said before, with it coming through the windows and everything. But yeah, not my favorite. It's, I don't know, for like a last thing, it could have been a bit more of a, you know, a nice final challenge rather than essentially the same beam bonus room that we've done, you know, 3 times before. Especially because in this one, there's no difference.
No.
Each time you go into it, unlike like the second one. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, here's my main point that I want to just get into everybody's head for this one. Think of this as the gold wizard card challenge without the challenge. That's pretty much what this is in a nutshell. So, is it a useful thing? I mean, if you want to look at some cool wizard cards at the end, the 5 that you get, yeah, I guess you could quote it as something useful. But for anything else, no. Also, the fact that they give you so many sweets and that to pick up by this point, they're completely useless. But it's just fun to pick them up, I guess. So cool, but not useful. So the challenge in its general self is not very useful, no. Is it a fun challenge? To be honest, yeah, I would say it's kind of fun running around, picking up all the sweets and like these other wizard cards and so on. It's fairly fun. Yeah, I didn't mind it. Nothing groundbreaking, but it was somewhat fun. Difficult? No. There's no timer, for Christ's sake. Like, all the times you go into the bean bonus room throughout every other main challenge, there's always a timer. And while you can collect every single collectible, if you do it properly with those timing bits, it's pretty difficult to actually do that. And you do, by the way, get all these rewards flying out like this, by the way, if you get all the treats and stuff in the other levels. Just so you know, Phil. So, yeah. It's not difficult. Visuals, I guess you could say it's a nice looking room.
Yeah.
And the suites definitely give it a lot more colour. So I'll give it that. It's funny how the suites are what gives it colour overall.
Yeah,
Interesting.
True, I didn't really think about it. There's not a lot of colour.
No, there isn't. It's interesting that. Audio. It's just fun music, really. Which I expect for something like a Beam bonus room, sort of fun ending to the game. So yeah, cool. It does what it needs to do. As for what I was going to say about my other point here about the wizard cards, I think that the fact that getting the other wizard cards in the game, in particular with all these portrait passwords and things that you buy, and I guess you could quote them as being challenges, but we didn't add them to the list because we'd be here forever. But yeah, to be fair, they definitely are more interesting, in my opinion, than this challenge at the end here, which really just kind of feels a bit thrown in. It just sort of exists for the sake of existing, really. It's like they sort of were looking at it and going, this game's not long enough. We need to add something extra in this that makes it a bit longer. Just a little bit longer. And this was it. Yeah, they did, but this is it. To the point where they really started running out of ideas for it. Like Pixie Encounter, and that is one thing, but this is really taking it to the notch. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. I think that personally finding wizard cards and that in like the main game's sort of secret passageways and actual secrets throughout levels and so on is way more interesting, and actually is, in my opinion, the better way of finding and sort of engaging a player at looking for this secret stuff than what we have here. So there you go. Yeah, I think that really covers my points in regards to this.
Nice.
So score, what's your score, Phil?
I gave it a 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is the one time where we finish this off with an agreement on the score.
Yay.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 as well. Only because it's somewhat fun to do, but again, it's pointless, but it is somewhat fun to do. It gives you something like, interesting.
It's fun, but it's just like it's just exactly the same as it has been the last times we came in here. There's just a few cards as well. It's just like, they could have done something a bit different.
Yeah, originality here is non-existent, really, but I mean, at least they put something different in it, I suppose. Could have just been beans. That would have been great.
It's just like, oh god, I'll do it again.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, so there you go. Let's just have a look and see what the chat has got here when it comes to the poll. Ooh. So 75% said it's just fun. Good. 12% said not too bad. And 12% said rather pointless. Interesting. Somewhat positive. I'm kind of amazed. Fair enough. So there we go. Right, we've got John saying I give it a 4 out of 10. It's the repetition point again. Yeah, fair enough. Barb said I think it's a 9 out of 10. I just love the whimsical nature of the bean bonus rooms.
It's whimsical, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm not sure I'll go as far as 9 out of 10, but yeah, I can agree with that.
People liking it a lot.
Yeah. Definitely. I can agree with it.
That's only up to an extent.
But yeah, there's a point where you push it a bit too far, and I think 9 is pushing it a bit too far. But yeah, 8 out of 10. It's a bit of fun. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Really, it is a bit of fun. So yeah, I'd be very interested to see it. Oh, for chips, right? Yeah. I was confused. I was like, "You are seeing it, John." Yeah, fair enough. This challenge is the equivalent of when you're 5 years old and your parents let you spend a day doing and having absolutely anything you want until you get bored. Yeah, fair play, TJ. It's a reasonable way of looking at it, I suppose. Anything else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay.
Hey.
So, now we have something special to announce. Yes. Alright, so here we are. We've come to the end of this series, as everyone's probably thinking right now. Yay, we got through all the PC games. We did this. We've done all of the live streams related to this series. It's over, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not over. It's actually not even close to being over. There is more. There is actually more. So, here's what's coming in the future. Let me open it up for you all. There we are. Hopefully you can all see that. This is what is coming in the future. So yes, we are actually going to be carrying on the series with one more part. One more episode. And we are taking a look, God help us, at Goblet of Fire. As you can see by the thumbnail, we both look really happy about doing it.
Yeah, it's my favourite Harry Potter game, so, you know.
So, yeah, it's not quite over just yet. We are looking at Goblet of Fire. So, Goblet of Fire will, I can confirm, be the last one of this series that I'm doing with Phil. Doesn't mean that I won't do other stuff with Phil in the future, of course, but for this specific series, this will be the end of it with Phil. So yeah, Goblet of Fire is the best way to end it, I'm sure we all know that. Yeah, so what we're going to be doing, just to explain it in regards to Goblet of Fire for everyone, we're actually not going to be looking at it from a perspective like we have been with these past 3 games, where we look at it specifically regarding, you know, the usefulness of the challenge and things like that, because of course Goblet of Fire, while it does have challenges, yes, it doesn't have specifically tons of challenges and so on. It's a very different kind of game. So we have a different rating category that we're going to be going with this game, but we will with this be rating all of the levels within the game. Obviously there aren't tons of levels because it's a very level select linear game, so it's not too bad. But yeah, we will be looking at all the levels, and we will also be looking at the spells within Goblet of Fire as well. So we're going to be looking at those 2 major points for Goblet of Fire. And also, just to clarify, this will be the Goblet of Fire for consoles and PC. We're not looking at Goblet of Fire for the Game Boy and stuff like that. This is just the main version of it. So just to not confuse people. Cool. And yeah, that's what's going to be coming up next. And that will be the end of this series for good, Goblet of Fire. I know nobody was expecting that, were you? None of you were expecting Goblet of Fire.
Even I wasn't. I was like, what have I agreed to now?
Actually, to be fair, regarding Phil with Goblet of Fire, I sent him all the thumbnails, right, for all the series. And
I was like, what's this one?
I dumped Goblet of Fire in at the end, and he just looked at it and went, Goblet? Hang on a minute. So yeah, there you go. We're ending this series off with a true bang.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think Goblet of Fire will actually be quite fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Mainly because everyone knows that when we have negative viewpoints on this series, it's the most fun bit. I think everyone knows how Goblet is going to go.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Anyhow, yeah, so there you go. That is everything otherwise for Prisoner of Azkaban on PC. I know that we could have also done the portrait passwords, but like I said, there are so many of those that we would have literally been here forever. So I wasn't going to include them for that reason. But I did briefly mention them during the final challenge, just because I know they could be considered as challenges too. So they got a brief mention. Anyway, I hope you guys agreed with our scores throughout this, and didn't take them too much to heart if they were too extreme for you. Surprisingly, I was actually the more brutal one in this this episode compared to Phil.
Yeah.
I was very brutal on this. I don't like Prisoner as much, do I? Anyway, there you go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It was a lot of fun doing this, of course, as always. And yeah, thank you all for, of course, being involved with the stream today and engaging. And of course, thank you for also being a part of the previous 2 streams, Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. The series has done extremely well. Thanks to all you guys. We can't thank you enough for that. We really appreciate the fact that this series has actually done as well as it has. So yeah, it's thanks to you guys that it is what it is. It's also thanks to you guys that it actually exists. So thank you. So we appreciate that a lot, and we hope that you will join us for the final bonus episode of Goblet of Fire, which we will of course let you know when that is. We haven't got any set planned date for that yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll let you know. Otherwise, we will probably leave it there, I think, to be fair. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And, well...
Yes, good fun.
I guess, has Phil got anything else to say before I close it off?
I can't think of anything funny anymore. I'm all funnied out.
Really? Well, that's a shame. Have you got like a Harry Potter mug or something you could show as the end bit?
Ta-da!
There we go.
Right, after this, I'm off to play the Pixie Encounter, I think.
Yeah, I think I'll go and play the Monster Book of Monsters Encounter for like 24 hours. Cool. I'm sure I'd probably just die.
Imagine doing like a charity stream, but you have to play the Pixie Encounter on loop for 24 hours. I think I would rather not. I would rather just not make any money for the charity.
I think
torture.
That would be a failing for the charity, to be fair. The charity would receive no donations for it. It would not go well. I think I would be more happy to play Goblet of Fire. God help me, I'm actually saying this. Be more happy to play Goblet of Fire for a charity for that amount of time.
Oh yeah, at least there's some variety.
Or at least there's some kind of interest. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but yeah.
Anyway,
I put Phil on the spot. I did put Phil on the spot. I always do that. It's fun. He's used to it. So yeah, right, cool. Thank you, everyone, and yeah, we'll see you in Goblet of Fire in the future. So until then, see you then.
Bye bye.